56 is Derek Lemaire. The 74 is Rob Neely. Hurricane Hannah Farrell in the 4. Eric Gledhill in the 14. Bailey Hurd in the 70. Adrian Staley in the 50 LS. There's the 88 of Jesse McDonald. The 08 is Stephen Beckett. And the 14T of Noel Teal. Derek Lemaire going to lead lap number 1 as the field goes down into turn 1. Brian Nanicoke right behind. Then it's Hannah Farrell, Rob Neely, and Bailey Hurd hanging on to that last transfer spot. Jesse McDonald 1 spot out of qualifying, and he's got Eric Gledhill right on his tail in the 14 machine. Gledhill gets a little loosened too. That gives McDonald some breathing room, but Jesse McDonald's got to get up on the wheel and close in on Bailey Hurd.
Down in corner 1 they go. Lemaire leads over Hannah Farrell. Then it's Brian Nanicoke back there. The challenge for the lead heats up in 3. Farrell down to the inside of Lemaire. They're side by side through corner number 4, coming down to the cross flags. Farrell leads at the line, and Adam, it's been quite the stretch here for Hannah Farrell. She's really getting close to that first career win.
She absolutely is, and talk about getting hot at the right time. You know, the season started out as a struggle, but when you end strong, the off season is more important than people think in racing, because the way you leave the previous season sets the tone for the entire winter. Watch for her to come out strong next season.
Here she is out in front with 2 laps left to go over Derek Lemaire. Brian Nanicoke and Rob Neely are top 4. Right now Bailey Hurd sits back in 5th with Jesse McDonald. Stephen Beckett deep in the field. He's one of those drivers up there within the top 10 hanging on in the point standings.
White flag is out. 1 more lap to go. Bailey Hurd still in 5th. Jesse McDonald, you're right. Stephen Beckett well out of a transfer spot right now, so a tough start to the night for Beckett in the 08. A great start for the Hurricane Hannah Farrell. She takes the win, followed by Lemaire, Nanicoke, Neely, Hurd. Headed to the B main are Jesse McDonald, Stephen Beckett, Gledhill, Staley, and Noel Teal.
Yeah, Beckett comes into tonight 4th place in the standings in that 08, so he'll have to transfer through the B main tonight. But Hannah Farrell continues the hot hand here this evening in the Oakwood Transport number 4, picking up the heat race win after a couple of weeks on the podium.
Heat race number 2 going to roll out like this on the pole from Hagersfield. In the MK8, it's Matthew Hill, and alongside him, it's the Iceman from Six Nations, number 20, Johnny Miller. Starting 3rd from Ohsweken, the 28 is Jordan Hill, and to his outside from Port Colborne, the 5D is Jacob Dykstra. Starting 5th from Stony Creek, the 24A is A.J. Lewis, and starting 6th from Brantford, the 69K is Jason Dixon. Starting 7th from Kitchener, the 2 is Travis Hofstetter. Starting 8th out of Ohsweken, the 38 is Derek Miller. And rounding out the field from Scotland, the 83, Spencer Davis.
Just want to welcome everyone tuned in tonight on Facebook, and I believe the YouTube feed right now having some issues. We will get that up momentarily, but again, tonight we are simulcasting. It is a MAV TV Canada night starting at 9 p.m., but we are staying online on Facebook and YouTube for everyone. We had a lot of folks around the world, basically, that wanted to be able to see how the championships all shake out. The MAV TV deal was kind of a last-minute addition to the schedule, and we were able to work it out with all of our partners. Want to thank them for making that possible so that everyone gets a chance to see who the champions are here at the end of the night.
Well, many thanks to Pinty's Delicious Foods, Greg, and many thanks to you, because you were the very first one when MAV TV suggested they wanted to be here to broadcast championship night, Greg. It was you. And I don't fire many compliments your way, and there's a good reason for it. But it was you who said, you know what, we've got a lot of fans who have watched all year long and supported our broadcast. We want to make sure that we support them and keep the stream up, and that is what is happening.
Ready to go with our second qualifying heat of the night for the Strickland Brantford Chevrolet Crate Sprint Car Division. Matt Hill, Johnny Miller will bring us to the green flag as they head down the front stretch into corner number 1 with Jordan Hill, Jacob Dykstra behind them in row 2. A.J. Lewis, Spencer Davis back there, as well as Travis Hofstetter. So right now, A couple of cars will go to the B main out of this one. We had a couple peel off there at the last moment.
Yeah, I saw Derek Miller off into the pits. Not sure who else wheeled off into pit lane as Johnny Miller with a slick move to the outside of Hill. Jacob Dykstra, the door got closed on him. He'll take it up to the high side in the third place and now slice his way down to the bottom. Jason
Dixon, the other car that didn't make the call. I don't believe he actually even came out onto the racetrack, so those are the two cars missing here as we get going down the backstretch. The Iceman, Johnny Miller, out in front over Jacob Dykstra. Then it's Matt Hill riding in third. Jordan Hill looking to his inside and one hard into the wall.
Big one off of turn number 3.
Travis Hofstetter over on his side, a hard impact over there up in the hay bales. And there goes the steering wheel, Adam.
Well, we love the steering wheel toss. It's there for a reason. It's one of the ways they can tell us they are okay. At least well enough to toss the wheel.
And I didn't get a chance to see that because where I'm looking, where he's sitting right now is a big wooden pillar between the windows. And it was out of my sight range, so I didn't get a chance to see what happened to Travis. And, man, he was really beginning to turn things on here in the later half of the season, getting a lot more comfortable behind the wheel of the crate sprints, and a bad way to start tonight.
It really is. He's been looking well. I caught the tail end of it. I just looked up to see the bottom of a race car. Anytime you've got a car up there by the hay bales outside of turn 3, there's no pleasant way to get there.
Well, guys, I don't know if you can see, but he's got a flat right rear at least on the car. And the other big problem you can see right here, guys, I don't know if you can pick that up, Sean. And I don't know if you see that the torque tube has pulled away from the rear end. So here's your rear end drive line. Torque tube was pulled off, and it's actually pulled the bolts out. So I would have to say that Hofstetter is done, unless he can get a whole new rear end assembly. This major tear out of the torque tube is the biggest problem they've got here, among a lot of other issues once we get it back on its wheels. But, you know, a lot of the other bolt-ons they can get, that is not a part typically have in as a backup on these cars, guys.
Great job down there, Clinton Jeffrey, always on the scene.
I think he's going to grab Travis here for a quick interview.
Travis, not the way you want to end your season here at Ohsweken. Looks like major damage to the torque tube and a whole bunch of stuff that you probably didn't see yet. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm all good. Really sucks to end the season this way, but I'm healthy. We're good to go, so we'll be back next year for sure.
You're a newcomer to the track this year. Did you have a great time?
Oh, I love it here. It is the best racing I've ever seen in my life. So
we appreciate you being part of the show. Have it for Travis Hofstetter, ladies and gentlemen. Big round of applause. Your last chance to clap for him this year by the looks of it. For the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals crate race next Saturday. But all kinds of damage here for the two guys. That's it from turn 3.
We're just going to catch.
Oh, yeah, wow. That was an abrupt stop. I'm reading a comment from Jeff Fleming. Greg and Adam are like peanut butter and jam. Do you know the difference between jelly and jam, Greg? Have we played this little game before?
As long as you don't break into the dictionary again. That got off the rails.
I got in so much trouble for that.
Is jam more fruit-based than gelatin, or?
It'd be pretty hard for me to jelly my fist down your throat.
Wow.
That's actually not the version of the joke I normally tell. But how was your week?
It was excellent till now. No, it was excellent until last night at about, what time was it when I embarrassed myself in
it was right
flat
about
track carts?
Humble o'clock.
Yeah, that was it.
That was fun. Greg and I and Clint had a little grudge match in the go-karts last night at the end of the micro sprint program.
Well, here comes Clint.
Hey,
and on the right rear quarter panel of his vehicle, you'll see his winning trophy and feature win sticker.
Well, they clean up that mess. I'm going to come down here for my impromptu victory lane. And Kyle, you got something for the boys up there, don't you? Kyle, I gave Kyle something to give you guys today. And Sean, you got to get out of your buggy to take a picture of this because I just want everybody to see that. They challenged me to a grudge match, and this is my trophy and my feature win sticker here on my buggy, so I'll take my... And Kyle's got your second in place, third place medals, guys, so you can pick those up later, but take my picture beside my feature winner trophy. Had to rub it in a little bit, guys.
Nicely done. Nicely done. He won.
Fair and square.
Wait for the rematch.
I knew I was in trouble 5 minutes before. I turned to him and I said, like, have you ever been in these carts before? He says, oh, yeah, I used to race them all the time at Kupalo. So I'm like, oh, great, fantastic.
Well, you didn't ask if I had experience before you challenged me to a brawl.
Many, many thanks to James Woods,
Yep.
Ron McGarry, and who was the third that offered up their carts?
Ken lent me his, and I can't think of his last name right now. I feel horrible. But it was a great time, and I'm going to ride this horse as loud as I can. You guys can look at my trophy, but don't touch it, all right?
Fair enough.
I had a chance to go in probably one of the best rides out there, and I couldn't get my derriere in the seat.
Well, you really learn to appreciate how challenging it is to drive a race car or go-kart. I don't care what it is, to do it competitively. There's a lot of skill involved, and it takes a lot of practice. So Clint's had a bunch of laps. I've had some experience racing karts, Greg, so you were up against it last night.
It was a blast. Had a lot of fun. Should have wiped out maybe 20 times, but
just
learned a bit.
wait until you see the weight vest I'm giving Clinton for the rematch. We're going to have some rules for the rematch.
Slap as much weight as you want on. I'm ready for it.
All right, we'll have scales next time.
So many jokes going around my head right now. I don't know if we can bolt on that much weight to get me up to you, big guy.
No, you really can't.
It wouldn't be safe.
You're barely half the man I am, and your safety is not my concern.
I'm not offended.
Johnny Miller going to lead us to the green. Jacob Dykstra in second. Hill running in the third spot, a little bit slow on that restart.
Dykstra in there deep in corner number 2. Miller had to let up as he was right in his tire tracks. As they come this time by across the start-finish line, we'll be halfway done. 4 in, 4 to go in heat race 2.
A.J. Lewis having a nice drive out there in that 24A. They lost most of their season to mechanical problems, but Lewis last week got some time in that race car up to speed, and tonight he's having a good run. Moves up into the 4th spot, getting around Jordan Hill.
Jacob Dykstra checking out away from Johnny Miller, who's drifting back in that 2nd spot. Matt Hill with a good solid run up in 3rd. A.J. Lewis following him, and Jordan Hill, the final transfer car. Spencer Davis right now on the outside looking in.
Lewis looking to the inside of Hill. Hill will close that door on the bottom. Lewis going to go up to the high side, sort of work around the middle of 1 and 2 and close in on the rear tail tank of the Hill machine right in front. Now he's going to come down to the banking to the white flag.
One more time around for Jacob Dykstra in the Tim's Lawn Care. Jennifer Hatch Coldwell banker number 5D, the driver to Port Colborne, Ontario, will sail it off of corner 4 to the checkered flag. Pick up heat race number 2. A win there over Johnny Miller. A.J. Lewis gets by Matt Hill. And 5th, and the final transfer spot will be Jordan Hill in the 28. Spencer Davis will go to tonight's B main. Someone asked, are you the voice of Jukasa Motor Speedway from Monday? Yes, Adam Ross, my partner in crime, was the man.
And so was Clinton Jeffrey. Yeah, I had a blast working with Clint. You know, you don't always think he's the boss here. He's got 1,000 things to worry about on a given night. But we had so much fun at Jukasa because all we had to think about was announcing together, and it was a lot of fun. Heat race number 3 rolling on to the racetrack on the pole out of Kitchener. The 39 is Shane Stickle. Alongside him from Hagersville, the 49H is Jerry Hill. Starting 3rd from Binbrook, the 29 is Liam Martin. And starting 4th from Beachfield, number 5, DJ Christie. Rolling off 5th out of Waterdown, the 5C is Connor Mahoney. Starting 6th from Brantford, the 49L is Lucas Smith. Starting 7th in the 43 out of Freelton, it's Darren Dryden. Starting 8th from Ancaster, the 51 is Trevor Young. And rounding out the field from Beamsville, the 1A of Paul Klager. White flag next time by. We will go green. Shane Stickle on the inside. Jerry Hill on the outside. Random draw for starting position in these crate sprints, Greg, and there's been a lot of rumbling going around in the pit. Some of these drivers would like to see a handicap system incorporated into the show. I would be 100% for a handicap system in this division. How much fun would that be to watch the top cars every week and the points start from 18th at best?
That'd be tough. That would be a tough haul to get from that deep with these cars so evenly matched. Green flag goes in the air. Shane Stickle will lead them down into corner number 1.
Lucas Smith was looking for an opening, couldn't find one. He's actually going to lose a spot to Trevor Young momentarily, and then Connor Mahoney to the inside makes it 3 wide. Battle for 5th.
Side by side of the line, Jerry Hill edges ahead of Shane Stickle, takes the lead in corner number 2. Liam Martin trying that same outside line. He'll tuck into 3rd. Now the battle for position is Lucas Smith. He gets by DJ Christie, draws up wheel to wheel with Liam Martin, tucks back in 4th.
Yeah, Lucas Smith has really been charging these corners, but he had nowhere to go there as Liam Smith had position on the high side. He regrouped and makes the pass in the next corner. Shane Stickle doing a nice job in the 2nd spot.
So it's Hill, Stickle, Smith, and Martin. The top 4 with Connor Mahoney, that 5th and final transfer car. So you've got Trevor Young, Paul Clagger, DJ Christie, and Darren Dryden right now back in the B main territory. And kind of a surprise for DJ Christie. He is dropping towards the back.
Second driver tonight in the top 5 in points to look like he's not going to transfer in. Anything can happen as laps wind down, but DJ Christie has fallen right to the back.
Side by side for the lead as Lucas Smith looks to the inside of Jerry Hill. They go down into corner number 3. He'll take another stab at it. This time by it'll be 2 laps left to go for Hill over Smith, then Stickle, Martin, and Mahoney.
Shane Stickle again doing a fine job. I'm fixated on that 39 machine. He's holding the pretty wheel right now, well into a qualified spot. And this was a fairly stacked heat. White flag is out. Jerry Hill continues to lead, but Lucas Smith looks to the bottom.
Lucas Smith just really needs to make sure he gets into the A main. He comes in 12 points back of Nick Sheridan. He's the next closest in contention for the title. Looks like he's going to finish 2nd as Jerry Hill picks up the win over Smith. And it's Stickle at the line. Martin ahead of Mahoney. Those 5 cars transfer. So Clagger, Young, Dryden, and DJ Christie, who came to a stop up in corner 2, will all go to tonight's B main. One final qualifying heat to go for the Strickland Brantford Chevrolet Crate Sprint Car Division. Following that, mini stock qualifying heats, then the 360s and the Thunder stocks. That's our running order for this evening. Again, having some folks tuning in online on Facebook and YouTube asking, yes, it is a MAV TV Canada night. It starts at 9 p.m., but our live streams will run throughout the evening, so you will get to see the features tonight. Ready to go with the 4th and final qualifying heat going from the pole out of St. Thomas, board car number 52. That'll be Jesse Costa. Jesse comes into tonight 3rd place on points. He's 26 points out of the top spot, and for a good part of the season, he was the point leader, so he's got some work to do tonight to get back to the top of the pile. Alongside him, going from the 2nd spot, Josh Hill out of Ohsweken in the 69 machine. Back in the 3rd spot from Ancaster, the 26X. That'll be Terry Baker. Going from 4th, Waterloo, Ontario's Alan Downey in the 19D. The point leader, Nick Sheridan, he'll line up in position number 5. He's out of Mount Bridges in the 45 machine. And going from 6th out of Gorge Landing, car number 19 is Brandon Merle. Starting 7th from Woodstock, the 29W, Tyler Ward. And going from 8th From well in the 3B of Blaine Barrow. And going 9th from Burford, the 12 of Brad Heron.
Sorry about that, Greg. I had to take a phone call. It was my bank calling. The last time they called, it was to ask if I really ordered $800 worth of food on Skip the Dishes.
And you did.
And I had not.
You'd ordered 900.
What an ordeal that was. I said, no, I didn't. Can you tell me where the food was ordered from? No, we're not allowed to divulge that. So you can take $800 out of my bank account, but you can't tell me where you sent it. I got it back eventually. Hey, wait 1 second. Speaking of Skip the Dishes, weren't you told there was a pizza waiting for us up here in the tower?
It never got brought to the tower. It was in the pit barn.
Stop it.
Sorry.
Were we not told it was in the
Yes.
tower? There was a special gift for us?
I think we were supposed to bring it with us.
I hope it was a dirty trick and it was laced with laxatives.
Thank you, Matt Hill.
Yeah, thanks so much, Matt.
Thanks for the pizza that everyone else is enjoying.
Boy, I hope not, Adam, because the tech guys ate it. So it could be a long or a quick night in tech if you end up over there, if it was laced with laxative. But I'm sure Matt gave us a fresh pizza for you guys. The camera crew enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So two of our points contenders in this heat, Jesse Costa and Nick Sheridan. Clinton Jefferson, since you're around, I'm going to put you on the spot. Some of the chatter about a handicap system for these crate sprints, is that something you would entertain?
It's really too early to tell. We'd have to look at it. I did see it come up. It may be due as we've got so many cars, but I don't know. Some we can definitely talk about. You know, around here, Glenn, for the past 10 years, has really wanted to make this a racer's track. And if it's what the race teams want, we'll find a way to make it happen. Quick note on Jesse Costa. It was not a blown motor last week. It was the drivetrain issue. So they're hoping for a better one here tonight. He needs to recoup. Starting on the pole here in the 52. Was not engine, was drivetrain issues last week.
Green flag is out, so Jesse Costa has a lot of work to do here tonight to get back to the top of the pile. The guy he's chasing is in this qualifying heat as Nick Sheridan sits back there in position 4.
Nick Sheridan just did a great job there in turn 2. He may have lost spots to Downey and Blaine Barrow the way things were looking, but Downey and Barrow kind of got locked up there and Nick Sheridan up into 3rd. So a nice job by that youngster to get himself into a comfortable position.
Tossed out in front over Baker, Sheridan, Hill, and Alan Downey. Those are the transfer cars right now with Blaine Barrow, Brandon Burrell, Brad Heron, and Tyler Walker on the outside. Tyler Ward, rather, on the outside. That was a name slip and a half there.
It happens. Halfway through already this qualifying heat. That 5th position, Alan Downey has it in the 19. Right behind him, it's Blaine Barrow and Brandon Merle. They don't look to be really closing the gap on that 5th spot. In fact, Barrow just about parked it in the fence there in turn number 2. That allows Alan Downey a bit of breathing room, although, of course, with these cars, there's no way for Downey to know if he has that much room. And, Greg, I'm looking at the racetrack. I think we're going to have a nice, wide, slick surface tonight.
Yeah, I noticed that when they were prepping the track earlier. Look, really good, nice and smooth. And last couple of weeks, there were some moisture issues, and things were a little bit bumpy through the corners, but it looks nice and smooth here tonight. Not a lot of dust. And Jesse Costa certainly likes it. Man, he is hooked up and gone in this final qualifying heat.
Costa out in front by a wide margin over Terry Baker and Sheridan. He'll take the win. Baker, Sheridan, Downey, and Hill for 5th.
Yeah, guys, I was watching Matt Hill, and that one rocked the outside. Looked really good in the 69 NRAM car, probably the best he has all year. Super smooth on that upper groove, and as they continue to work it, you're right, it is going to smooth and widen out. We'll do a quick track report here as we've got a bit of an early situation here. So if you can see what's going on here, you've got a bit of the track rolling up, as we say, and as the cars hit it, it will flip this over, and then it becomes a clod out here for these cars, and that's some of the rough stuff you see out here. The idea is to get it all buffed off so it's smooth like this, right up to the top, and then when the 360s come out, they'll continue to push this upper groove right up here. So that's your first Case IH track report as we showed you. For example, this is one of the flops that gets flopped up here, gets flung up here, and then the cars will pack it down and it makes like a little rumble strip for them to work with. So the mini stocks certainly don't like it, but we'll continue to work on the track here, guys.
Stocks ready to go. Their first of 3 qualifying heats, brought to you by HRW Automotive. Going from the pole in heat race number 1 from Hagersville, and the summertime spray foam number 16J, Jeremy May. Alongside him, he took a rollover last week. The car looks a little worse for wear. That's the Wall of Famer, the pitbull, Mike Giberson. In car number 11, he'll go second. From position number 3 from Caledonia, the 517, Cody Somerville. Alongside him, in the R&B Sprinklers 96, that'll be Brian Crosgrove from Hamilton. Starting in 5th from Brantford in the 05, Dave Goodacre. And his outside going from the 6th spot. Good to see back here tonight. Jason Tolton at a Guelph in car number 1. He had an interesting excursion last Friday night. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Tim Jamieson starts 7th. He's from Ohsweken in the 177. And outside of him, it'll be Elise Leduc in the 04 car. She's from Waterford in the 8th starting position. Going 9th from Dundas, the 69, Rob Twitchett. And going from 10th, Kevin Thorne out of Caledonia in the 360. Jason Tolton on the way home last Friday night went through the village of Ohsweken, and that's the way we went home as well. And we saw his trailer pulled over. Someone in a van, unlicensed plated, apparently we're guessing under the influence, ran into Jason's trailer doing a lot of damage to it, jumped out of the van, left it right in the middle of the road, and ran away. So there was some talk that Jason might not be able to make it tonight because of the trailer issues, and I thought I'd read he wasn't going to be here, so good to see the vac trucks number 1 here tonight.
Well, thank goodness it hit the trailer and not the tow vehicle,
That's
right?
exactly my thought. Could have been worse, but you definitely don't want to see any damage at all. But good to see Jason back here tonight for a guy that he has had no good fortune here in 2019 after being so good last year.
It has not been his year, but again, he can finish off strong. And talking about not having a great year, Jeremy May in that 16J, he has had his struggles. Mike Giberson showed us last week why we call him the pinball.
Race is underway. May, Giberson, and Tolton will go 3 wide into corner 1. Tolton around the outside looking for the lead. Side by side, the 3 wide behind him.
Thorne with a big run in that Burger Barn number 360. Didn't really have anywhere to take it, but it's worked out fairly well up into the 2nd spot. Now we'll work to the bottom of the racetrack and challenge for the lead.
Can he do it? He started last. Yep, last to first. Kevin Thorne leads lap number 1 of the Burger Barn H1 Construction 360, but Jason Tolton not going away, working the outside line.
That line I just could not find last night.
No, it's tough back there. Lighting is a challenge too, Greg, so nothing to hang your head about. Well, except the way the seats are. It kind of makes your head hang down after a while.
Backwards.
Kevin Thorne out in front. Tim Jamieson and Jason Tolton stacked up behind him. Rob Twitchett has worked his way up into the 4th spot, and Rob's really turned it up here in the later part of the season.
Yeah, he's one who's due for a good run as Thorne gets way out of shape in turn number 4 at the halfway point. 3 laps in, 3 laps to go with his mini stock heat race number 1.
Thorne, Jamieson, Tolton, and Twitchett. Then a good gap back to Jeremy May in the 16J. Dave Goodacre.
Mike Giberson in there as well.
How about Jamieson and Longboat? Couple of drivers who have shown a lot of speed. And I'm going to say, at first when they started running the mini stocks and came out of the Bombers, Greg, it almost didn't look like they were comfortable racing on the big track. And I don't know if it was the equipment, the way it was set up, or the drivers had to get used to it as Jeremy May has problems on the front stretch. But again, the last few weeks, both of these drivers have shown great speed.
Yeah, you're right. They've gone from uncomfortable to contenders now, it seems, every week. And of course, we know what happened with Paul Longboat a couple of weeks ago, but it proved that you know, they belong in the division.
That's for sure, as they split Elise Leduc, and a little bit of contact down the back straightaway with Jameson and Leduc, leaving some panels hanging off the Leduc machine. Checkers in the air. Thorne takes the win. Jameson, Tolton, Twitchett. And look at Dave Goodacre coming home 5th.
Well, guys, just want to follow up on the Jason Tolton issue. It was a Miska trailer, who is one of our sponsors here, and he bought it from our race director, Doug Leonard. Doug reached out to Doug this week, did the Toltons, and they're going to get it repaired. They'll wait till after the season to get it done. But unfortunately, yeah, hit and run for Jason Tolton. But our sponsors at Miska are going to jump in there and get him geared up as soon as the season is over. So, horrible deal for one of the nicest guys in the pits and a fairly newcomer. He's only his second or third year here at Ohsweken.
Great news. Good to hear that. Usually when something like that happens, the community of motorsports racing rallies around those drivers, and
well,
good to hear that.
Not to cut you off, Greg, quickly, but I believe you're right. He did say he wasn't going to make it because there was too much damage. Someone gave him a tow here. The racing community was not going to let that one sit at home just because it didn't have a trailer to get here. So wait to get in the one here.
Awesome. Good to see him out there, and a good solid run in the first qualifying heat. Heat 2 out onto the Speedway. Tim Newell goes from the pole in car number 26 alongside him. In the number 54 car from Stratford, that'll be Christopher French going from the second spot. Starting in third in the 16T out of Dunnville, that is Jason Thompson. Alongside him from Welland, it'll be Cole Hardy. Cole Hardy is driving the 12 Junior tonight. So not able to have his own car here ready to go. So Cole Hardy will start from the fourth spot in the 12 Junior, usually in the 7C. Going from fifth, out of Simcoe, the 5, Rick Robinson. Outside of him, Mike Sarantakos from Smithville in the 6X. Paul Longboat out of Ohsweken. He will start back there in car 188 in the 7th spot. Tim DeBoer comes into tonight, tied for the points lead. He's out of York, Ontario in car number 9. He goes from 8th. Going from 9th, Mike Evers out of Caledonia in the 265. And starting from the 10th and final spot, out of Ancaster, Fabio Oliveri in the 16 machine.
Yeah, watch that 12 car of Cole Hardy. Look at all the feature win stickers on the side of that one. And that is a fast car for the Kelly crew. Let's see what Cole Hardy can do here tonight, guys. Green is out.
Right off the start, he has a peek towards the middle. Thompson in the 16 gets a little bit squirrely. Cole Hardy does a nice job to avoid that. Down the back straightaway they go. Tim DeBoer in the 9 directly to the outside groove. Everybody at the front going to the outside.
And I misspoke. It is Dusty DeBoer that is tied for the point lead, not Tim DeBoer that is in this qualifying heat. So correction there. Tim is still in it mathematically, 40 points out, but it's Dusty DeBoer comes in tied for the point lead.
It's not like me not to correct you either, Greg.
What were you doing, sleeping?
I must have been. I was dreaming about pizza. Mike Sarantakos trying to hold off Tim DeBoer as Christopher French closes the door on Cole Hardy out of turn 4, which opens the door to Fabio Oliveri. Oliveri now tucks back in line behind French as Hardy heads to the inside.
3 laps onto the scoreboard, 3 to go with Newell out in front over Tim DeBoer, Mike Sarantakos. Oh, man, Christopher French and Fabio Oliveri. A little bit of contact there at the start-finish line.
I'm not a big fan of lane changes on the straightaway like that, and French turned hard right. Oliveri did a nice job to avoid a big wreck there. But that'll get your blood pressure going. Get your heart rate up.
That heart rate almost got a whole lot harder as that block wall has ate up a number of cars over the year, and you hate seeing that on that right rear quarter panel, just that little touch, and it sends the car shooting to the right, but a good save there by Christopher French as the white flag comes out for Tim Newell. That car was the championship car 1 year ago with Matt behind the wheel.
Oliveri now carves to the inside of Christopher French, and he wasn't going to put up with much of a fight there. He kind of rubbed French up the racetrack. Now we'll have to deal with Cole Hardy down the backstretch, but Fabio Oliveri for now up to the 4th position.
Checkers out. Newell will get the win over Tim DeBoer, Mike Sarantakos, Fabio Oliveri, and Cole Hardy, your top 5. Then was Christopher French across the line next in position number 6. And I didn't catch whether or not it was Paul Longboat or Mike Evers, my scoring monitor, not getting the official call. With one more qualifying heat still to go for the HRW Automotive Mini Stocks. 30 cars in attendance here tonight. Jeff Elslager will line up from the pole in heat race number 3. He's from Linden, Ontario in the 11E alongside him. The winner 1 week ago from Waterford in the 46 machine, that's Wade Thorne. Starting third from Ancaster, Kyle Wirt tied for the point lead in car number 19 to his outside, the 88 out of Simcoe, Aiden Nye. Going fifth, Jonathan Ayrton. Got his first feature race win a couple of weeks ago. He's from Dundas in the 21 machine. Going from sixth, Chris Reichman from Hamilton in the 93 machine. Starting in seventh, that's where Dusty DeBoer is in car number 23. He's from Hagersville, tied for the points lead with Kyle Wirt. And the other driver that's right in the thick of this, he still has a chance tonight, doesn't have a feature win yet this year, Tristan De Silva out of Waterdown in the 01 car. He'll start 8th in this qualifying heat. Ryan Hiller from New Hamburg in the 21H. He'll go from 9th. And John Lubeck out of Port Colborne in the 14L will go from 10th.
No, the xylophone is an underused instrument in today's pop music, Greg. Did you hear that little xylophone solo?
I did hear it. It was pretty.
On the cool chart, that is right up there with the cowbell player. Of course, until Saturday Night Live made the cowbell player just epic.
Nick Hare asking any extra 360s tonight. Yeah, Alex Hill and Sam Haferteep Jr. both in the house tonight.
I believe that still keeps us at 24, though, so we must have missed a couple. I don't think we're going to need to be main tonight unless my math is wrong, guys.
No, I saw the same thing. I saw 24 cars. So it could be some guys and gals saving equipment for the Sprint Car Nationals.
Kyle Wirt in this one, tied for the championship coming in tonight. The 19 car starts on third. Big props for him. Did you guys talk about that tonight? Not sure if I missed that.
No, his problems last week?
No, he broke down on the way here and was late to the driver's meeting. Someone had to go pick him up. I believe Logan Schwedick went and rescued him. The 19 car nearly didn't make it to the track tonight.
He's had nothing but problems for the last few weeks now, so Kyle Wirt just wants to get it done. And although I'm sure there's part of him that is anxious about tonight, you probably didn't see it on his face because, man, he's one cool cucumber.
He really is.
Tucks in line in that third spot behind last week's winner, Wade Thorne and Jeff Elslager in the 11E as they work it off of corner number 4. Thorne will lead the lap. Elslager second. Here comes Wirt and Aiden Nye working the outside line.
So the wild card in the mini stock title chase is Tristan De Silva in that Gibbs number 01. Here's a youngster who's done a great job all season long. So it really is DeBoer versus Wirt. They're tied coming in, but if anything should happen to either of them, and right now DeBoer is stuck way at the back of the field, Tristan De Silva could step up and seize his glory.
For the last lap and a half, Wirt has been trying to get around that Elsinger 11. Each time the 11 car pushes up high. Watch Wirt. This time he'll drop to the bottom and try and make a move under the both. Try slide job. Oh, gets on the brakes and manages to keep it together, but he is having fits getting around the 11.
Yeah, that slide job didn't work because the front end didn't stick. He just pushed going into the corner. Did a great job to keep himself off of those competitors' cars. Now Kyle Wirt to the outside of Thorne.
Clears him into the second spot. Thorne back to third. Aiden Nye and Ryan Hiller now stacked up behind him along with Chris Reichman in the 93. Here comes Tristan De Silva. Dusty DeBoer, they're side by side, two of the title contenders here tonight.
Down into the corner, and they're right behind Ryan Hiller, Aiden Nye, Wade Thorne, looking for racing room out there. Thorne didn't get a good run. They just make it 4 wide.
This time by the white flag will fly as Jeff Elslager leads the way over Kyle Wirt, Aiden Nye, Ryan Hiller, and Tristan De Silva, the top 5 right now. Dusty DeBoer hanging back in 6th.
It's a battle to get in through the qualifying heat and not have to run the concede. Kyle Wirt at the front, looking for a way around Elslager. They'll work off of turn number 4 to the checkers.
Across the line, Jeff Elsliger will pick up the win. The Springer meets number 11E over Kyle Wirt. Ryan Heller with a good run from the back comes up to the 3rd spot.
Well, as much as Wirt wanted to get by that 11, he took a couple.
It just wasn't worth the battling, the risk to his race car he would have had to give to challenge for that position. So cooler heads prevail as Kyle Wirt comes home 2nd in that heat. That puts him into the show.
Yeah, had he got him around, that could have been a big uphill battle for Wirt tonight. You would not want to go back for spinning the leader in your qualifying heat, that is for sure. Want to send a shout out to the folks from Mr. Transmission here tonight, and of course, Tony Spiteri and his guests from Pinty's. Thank you so much for everything you guys do for us in sport. Of course, putting together this deal for All North Racing, powered by Pinty's, live on MAV TV, All North Racing coast to coast tonight at 9 p.m. And I want to thank you for working together with MAV TV and all our production and broadcast partners to make it free for everybody to watch around the world tonight. And great call, guys, to make that happen.
Ready to go the first of 3 qualifying heats for the Cool Kids Ice and Water Core Pack Merchandising Sprint Cars going from the pole at Fenwick. In the Case IH Ohsweken Speedway, Gibbons Contracting, car number 0, the Red Rocket, Jim Hoopinen. Alongside him out of Dorchester in the Case IH Ohsweken Speedway, car number 1, teammate Holly Porter. Going from 3rd in the Total Rentals, Ackland Insurance, car number 87X from Scotland. That'll be Sean Evans. And rolling off to his outside from the 4th spot in the CarQuest Auto Parts, Brown Auto Service, car number 10, downtown Mitch Brown. Starting in 5th from Caster Center in the Kingpin Farms, car number 91. That is scheduled to be Ryan Turner. Don't see Ryan out there at the moment. Starting 6th from St. Williams, Ontario in the 21J, the Gales Auto Aftermarket ride. That is John Burbridge Jr. Starting in 7th, driving the original Traders Energy Town Line Variety, car number 77X, the Six Nations sensation, Alex Hill. And going from the 8th and final spot from Alden, New York, in the Fiberworks Composite, Verzak Enterprises, Easy Truck Salvage 49K, the straight shooter, Scott Kruder.
I see one push vehicle still moving back there on the racetrack.
Well, guys, I know Ryan Turner has been having trouble getting that Kingpin Farms 91 car fired up here tonight. He's been back and forth between the push-off track multiple times. Obviously, it's not right enough to send him out to the Speedway surface at this time.
So a lot of work for that Burger Barn Racing team, as brother Corey Turner had problems in the hot lap session as well, and he's in the points chase coming into tonight, so troubles all around right now for the 13 and the 91.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget 50-50 tickets. Sellers are around in the pink shirts. Guaranteed minimum of $750. We get set to go. Cool Kids Core Pack 360 Sprint Car qualifying race 1. Greg and Adam with the call.
Over the green flag from Kyle McKenzie. The Steyrs Racing teammates on the front row will bring it to life as Jim Hoopinen and Holly Porter race into corner number 1. Porter slings it around the outside. She'll grab the lead in corner 2. Jim Hoopinen will tuck back in line in 2nd.
Scott Kruder with a good run to the outside, got kind of hung up behind Sean Evans in the 87. He'll try to swing to the outside down the front straight. He's got Alex Hill right on his tail.
Down the back stretch they go with Holly Porter out in front over Jim Hoopinen, Mitch Brown, Sean Evans. Scott Kruder has made his way up to the 5th spot with Alex Hill behind him and John Burbridge in the last spot.
A couple of Steyrs teammates at the front. Holly Porter out in front. Jim Hoopinen in 2nd. They've got about 15 car lengths over Mitch Brown running in 3rd. And Scott Kruder still can't get to the inside of Sean Evans. And look at the angle on the top wing of Evans. That is a steep pitch.
He's got a different sideboard on that car. Remember, he had that wild ride last Friday night up in corner number 2, has the car all back together and ready to go in his rookie campaign, coming up on the 1-year anniversary since his first start in a 360 at the Nationals last year.
Lady Luck has not been on his side, but there's no quit in that Sean Evans Ackland Insurance team as Jim Hoopinen right up on the rear bumper of Holly Porter. There might have been some contact off at turn 2.
Porter continuing to lead out in front with 2 laps left to go. Jim Hoopinen tucked in behind, and here comes Mitch Brown. He's caught the top 2, trying to reel him in. Working the inside line is downtown Mitch Brown.
Jim Hoopinen tried to pinch it off there in 4 to get a run to the bottom. It didn't work. He heads back to the high side in 1 and 2. Big head of steam down the backstretch.
Checkers coming out, and Porter, Hoopin, and Brown will all come down to the line in that order. Porter gets the win over Hoopin and Brown. Scott Kruger drives up to the 4th spot. 5th will go to Sean Evans. 6th will be Alex Hill, and 7th to John Burbridge Jr.
How about that? 2 of our lady sprint car drivers with heat race wins tonight. It started with the Hurricane Hannah Farrell and now Holly Porter. And talk about a schedule. If I heard Holly correctly, she raced last night in the micro sprints, had to go to work at 11 o'clock last night, so I can only assume she works 11 till 7 in the morning, and now she's back at the racetrack here this evening. That's a fairly heavy schedule.
Dedicated to what she does. She's here every Thursday night racing with the micro sprints, and right back at it here in the 360s, and really has acclimated herself well to the 360 division as she picks up the heat race win. Ready to go with heat race number 2, going from the pole in this one out of Brantford. In the Little Bend 110, the Hills Tire and Gas Brown Auto Service Machine, that'll be Jake Brown. To his outside from Carlisle, Ontario, in the Nitro 54 variety, MMBO Direct Marketing, number 9, Steve Lyons. Starting in position number 3 in the Pinewood Horticulture, BSME Radiator, number 7, that's Caleb Wood. Caleb Wood out of London goes from 3rd. Starting in 4th, in the Petro Plus, Burger Barn Racing, car number 13 from Tilsonburg, Corey Turner. Starting in position number 5 out of Beamsville, in the Parts Source, J&E Recovery, number 88H, that's Josh Hansen. And starting in position number 6 from Fenwick, he is known as the Fenwick Flyer, the Clear Shot Customs, number 27H, that is Tom Hoopinen. Going from spot number 7 out of Thedford, Ontario, in the Jennifer Hatch Coldwell Banker, Tim's Lawn Care, number 5D, that is Shane Ross. And there we see stopped up in corner number 3 in the Jason Enterprises Bodyline Auto Recyclers, number 46. That is Kevin Paul's, scheduled to go from the 8th position. He's from Caster Center.
And they'll give that car a push. Had a great chat with Caleb Wood's dad out at Jacassa Motor Speedway last weekend. Really good to see him spending the weekend camping there. The team is going to do some fundraising for the Canadian Cancer Society. They got some paperwork they still have to do, but really great cause they're going to be working with, Greg. Got a message from Jay Liverance. Water in the fuel cell of the number 40, so they drained the cell. Bubbles always give troubles. I love that we get reports from the teams through Facebook, through Twitter, through all sorts of different channels. We get scolded sometimes. We get information sometimes. Going green.
And Jake Brown really got sideways on the start in corner number 4. That allowed Steve Lyons to grab the lead and Corey Turner to shoot by him into the 2nd spot as they race behind Jake Brown for that 4th, 5th, and 6th spot.
Yeah, tight battle in the middle of the pack. I actually thought Steve Lyons was not getting off to a great start, and then it was Brown getting sideways, and Lyons looked like a hero down into turn 1.
So it's Lyons out in front over the number 13 machine. Again, that is Corey Turner. New paint scheme for him, the Petro Plus ride. Up on the top wing, so Corey Turner, really gets it sideways in corner 2, and that allows Steve Lyons to scoot a little bit farther away.
And of course, Petro Plus right on the same property as the Burger Barn, Jason Hill, expanding his business out there. So Greg, you can eat at the Burger Barn and get gas.
I usually do.
I lob it in, you knock him out of the park.
Cross flags up in the air. Steve Lyons over Corey Turner. That was just lame.
Total dad joke.
Lyons and Turner, Jake Brown back in 3rd, side by side for the 4th spot. Tom Hoopinen had troubles with that car a week ago. He's got it going full song here tonight in a good battle with Josh Hansen.
Working the bottom of the racetrack, Hansen up high, Hoopinen down low, and look at that, 2 varying lines. achieving about the same thing, and Shane Ross in the 5 and Caleb Wood in the 7 also having a heck of a battle behind them.
Corey Turner to the top of the pylon. The Petro Plus number 13 over Steve Lyons. Jake Brown holding on to third, and it's still Josh Hansen, Tom Hoopinen going at it as, whoa, Steve Lyons really got high in corner 3.
Yeah, he was about to jump the cushion there and did a nice job to save it. Corey Turner getting loose in 1 and 2. We have got a slick racetrack tonight.
Coming to the checkered flag, Petro Plus will pick up a win in its first outing with Corey Turner behind the wheel. Jake Brown grabs second away from Steve Lyons. Fourth at the line, Josh Hansen over Jacob Dykstra, Shane Ross. And then Tom Hoopinen, Caleb Wood, and Kevin Paul. So Corey Turner picks up the win. The Petro Plus Burger Barn Mobile 1, number 13. Jake Brown snatching away second there at the line over Steve Lyons. Some good racing in the second qualifying heat. 3 to come here tonight. 1 more to go. Going from the pole, heat race number 3 from Ohsweken in the Nitro 54 variety. Ackland Insurance Big Dog Wing Sauce, number 15. That is Dan Nanakoke. Alongside him comes into tonight just 2 points back. A point leader, Dylan Westbrook out of Mississauga. Driving the Rip Shot. CarStar Brantford Ackland Insurance 17X, the highlight man, Mac DeMann. Starting in third from Keister Center. In the Charlie B. Honey, Pius Spring and Alignment, Braemar Buildings, Mudcat Entertainment Center, car number 11. That'll be Jamie Turner. And going from fourth out of Thamesford in the Vipond Eller car in 45, Curtis Gartley. Going from fifth out of Sunnyvale, Texas. Driving car number 15H for the Town Line Variety Original Traders Energy team. That is car number 15H, Sam Haferteep Jr. And to his outside, his teammate from Scotland, Ontario in the Sovereign Fusion, Burford Heating and Air Conditioning, Original Traders Energy. Car number 47X, the current point leader, D-Dubs, Dylan Westbrook. Rolling off seventh out of Ohsweken in the Case IH, Ohsweken Speedway Aero Express 68, that'll be Aaron Turkey. And going from the 8th and final starting position from Charing Cross in the ERW contracting number 9B, Scott Burke.
Did we have full fields of cars, Greg, every night this year in the sprint car division?
Yeah, we have. It's been a very solid year. The last few years, things got a little bit thin. A couple of years ago, it was really getting thin, but it's been an excellent year for the 360 sprint car division here, and I think that's all in part of what the plan was with the crate sprint car division, because we have seen drivers move up again this year.
And I've heard some names heading up as well for next year or making plans to do so. So I think we're in great shape with all of our divisions here at the Big O as the white flag is displayed. Next time we will take the green in our final qualifying heat of the night for the sprint cars.
Well, Greg, was it you who said something like 6 out of the top 10 or 12 of our current 360 drivers came through the crate ranks? There was a wild stat out there recently that really showed how things had played off.
I'll have to take a look at that. I don't remember stating that.
I believe it was 6 out of the top 12 came out of the crate division in this year's 360 standings.
I count 5 so far, but still, that is an impressive, that is an impressive stat right there. That tells you that this division, the Crate Sprint Car division, is feeding this 360 Sprint Car class. And look at Sam Haferteep, wasting no time, slicing through the field and bringing Dylan Westbrook with him.
Well, the Westbrook line down in turn number 3 is a little bit treacherous right now. He had a hard time finding his entry on lap number 1. A little bit better here on the second lap as he's going to cut it to the inside of Dan Nanakoke and take over that third spot.
A highlight man, Mac DeMann, comes into tonight's second place in points. He has really got it hooked up on that outside line, running it to perfection as he comes across the line to complete lap 3.
Down across the stripe, Dylan Westbrook trying to close in on Sam Haferteep. Those are 3 of our top competitors, 1, 2, 3 in this heat race, but Mac DeMann is on the loud pedal.
4 in, 4 to go for the highlight man, Mac DeMann over Sam Haferteep, Dylan Westbrook, and you've got Dan Anacoke fourth, Jamie Turner pressuring him, and Aaron Turkey catching those two.
Watching how high they're entering, turn 3 especially, it is going to be wild tonight. I believe 3 and 4 is going to be a very wide corner, giving these drivers lots of options.
2 laps left to go for Mac DeMann, the driver to Mississauga, Ontario, driving to the Hills Franklin Racing Stables. And man, he has looked super smooth so far in this qualifying heat. This is exactly what he needs to do tonight for 20 laps. And he has a legitimate shot of walking away with the title.
Piece of cake, right? Not so much. It's a lot harder than it looks, but he made it look easy. Mac DeMann takes the win. Haferteep second, Brooke in third. Look at this battle for fourth. Jamie Turner down low to Nanacoke. That's almost a dead heat at the stripe, but Dan Nanacoke does not get the spot. Does he? Yes, he does. By thousandths of a second.
So the highlight man, Mac DeMann, will pick up the heat race win, finishing ahead of Sam Haferteep and Dylan Westbrook. Again, that is what everyone's watching tonight. 2 points separate Westbrook and DeMann, with Westbrook leading the way coming into this evening. DeMann makes a bit of a statement there in the qualifying heat.
And 2 points of separation with our point system is as good as a tie. So race fans, what we would ask you to do, because our sponsors and track management were so generous in keeping the live stream open. If you're watching the live stream, please go ahead and share the link. We want to get a lot of eyeballs on this championship night, as many as possible.
Just got a note from the pits. The Iceman, Johnny Miller, hoping to wish his grandma a happy 73rd birthday to Linda Miller. And want to send a shout out to Coop from Club 54, who is not doing so great, but they have hooked him up at home to watch the broadcast. So Coop, hope you're feeling good, buddy. Wish you could be here with us at the races, and all the best to you and the Club 54 team tonight.
Same with Paul Ballantyne, not feeling very well tonight, Clint, so watching from home. Great that we're able to bring that to them. Middleport Mechanical Thunderstocks heat race number 1 is going to line up like this. On the pole out of Hamilton, the number 43 is Kyle Andrus. Alongside from Brantford, the 13 is Casey Huffman. Third out of Brantford, the number 40 is Derek Liverance. And on the outside of row 2 from Caledonia, the 21X is Mark Bazine. Starting in 5th, possibly making his final career start here at the Big O from Brantford, the number 1 is Chris Dickey. And alongside him from Keister Center, the 41 is Adam Plazik. Starting in 7th out of Thorold, the 11 is Go Fast Teeple. Starting 8th from Canfield, the 32 is Mark Fawcett. And rounding out the field in the 6R, it is Jeff Rulofs. Green flag in the air for this first Middleport Mechanical Thunder heat. Good start by Casey Huffman up on the high side.
Yeah, Kyle Andrus didn't get up to speed as quick, and that boxed up Liverance in behind him. Now he'll move to the inside down the backstretch. They definitely have things sorted out on the 40 machine now, and got rid of the fuel issues as Mark Bazine leads over Huffman, Plazik, and Liverance. Now Dickey to 5th.
Chris Dickey up on the outside in that one machine as Liverance gets a bit of a push going into the first turn. Had to roll out of the throttle to avoid contact with Adam Plazik, so Plazik up to 3rd in that 41.
Across the stripe, Mark Bazine leads over Casey Huffman, Adam Plazik, and Chris Dickey in that 4th position. Mark Fawcett with a flat tire and hot laps working from the back here in this heat. He's 3 wide, heading into 3 with Go Fast People and Liverance.
Jay Liverance struggling with the setup on that race car. He made some contact the last lap with Chris Dickey. Not sure if that messed up the alignment on that race car, but he's really struggling getting into turn 3 and getting that car to take a set.
Cross flags go up in the air for Mark Bazine of the Burger Barn Ace One Construction Inc. Motors machine as he sails it into corner 1. With Huffman and Plazik now going at it for the second spot. Plazik works the inside line in that white 41.
Go Fast People starting to mount a challenge for the 4th spot as well as he's looking to the inside of Chris Dickey. Plazik down low through 3 and 4 in the 41 machine as Casey Huffman works up the racetrack. Plazik going to lead by a nose at the stripe.
Bazine, Plazik, Huffman, and a 3-wide fight behind them for the 4th spot. Dickey has it. Teeple and Rulifs are right there side by side behind him going into 3.
Great battle out there as Bazine continues to drive away in that Burger Barn number 21X. Adam Plazik has finally cleared Casey Huffman, but Huffman charging back to the outside.
Mark Bazine hooked up and gone as this time by he will cross the stripe to the white flag with Plazik in the 2nd spot. Huffman there side by side. Teeple and Dickey as they work it off the corner. Dickey still holds down position 4.
This track is really taking shape right now. Look at how wide it is for these Thunder stocks. White flag for Andrus, and the checkered flag will fly for Mark Bazine. Burger Bar number 21 to victory lane. Plazik Auto Recyclers 41 finishes 2nd. The Shed in a Day number 13 of Casey Huffman 3rd. Then it's the Strickland's GMC number 1 of Chris Dickey. And the Beamsville Fish and Chips number 11 of Go Fast Teeple. Heat race number 2 about to roll out, and on the pole out of Harley, Ontario, the 37 is Rob Hoskins. Outside of row number 1 from Ohsweken, the 24 is Blake Bomberry. Starting 3rd out of Caledonia, the 55 is Mike Thorne, and starting 4th from Ohsweken, the 38 is Frank Turkey. Starting 5th from Keister Center, the 28D is Donnie Lampman. Starting 6th from Victoria, Ontario, the 84 RK, it's the big dog, Ryan Beagle. Starting 7th from Keister Center, the 28 is Jim Lampman. Starting 8th from Blenheim, the 327 is Trevor Jones. And rounding out the field from Guelph in the 79, it's Chris Hale.
White flag goes up in the air. Next time we'll go green flag racing in heat race number 2 of 3 for the Middleport Mechanical Thunder Stock Division. One more heat to go, and then we will go into some of the B mains that are needed. Feature lineup tonight will be the Crate Sprints, Mini Stocks, 360s, and we'll end with the Thunder Stocks tonight.
Ready for green in our second to last heat race of the evening. The Middleport Mechanical Thunder Stocks are underway for heat race number 2.
Off they go down into the corner. And Hoskins leads in the middle with Blake Bomberry on the outside. Mike Thorne, who rejoined this division a few weeks back, sitting there in the 3rd spot.
Thorne working the bottom of the racetrack. Turkey up high. Ryan Beagle has a thought to go through the middle. He's still thinking the middle of the racetrack as they work down into turn number 1.
Hoskins gets a little bump from Blake Bomberry there off the corner. Look at the run by Ryan Beagle down into corner 3 as Hoskins scoots up the track. So it's Bomberry and Beagle side by side.
Rob Hoskins, something amiss on that 37, so he slows up down in 3 and 4, lets the field go by, and I believe he's going to take it to the pits. Ryan Beagle takes advantage in that 84 machine, and he works all the way to the front, and now Hoskins is back up to speed.
Beagle leading off of corner number 4. Side by side for second, it's Hale and Bomberry. Then it's Turkey and Lampman back and forth and 5th.
And that's the father, Jim Lampman, in 5th. His son, Donnie Lampman, back there in the 8th spot with nowhere to go. They're side by side in front of him.
Ryan Beagle leads at the halfway point of this one. He's out in front over Chris Hale, Blake Bomberry, and Frank Turkey. Now Donnie Lampman up to the 5th spot as Jim Lampman slows on the backstretch.
Yeah, Jim Lampman, after Rob Hoskins slowed a few laps ago and stayed on the racetrack, now Jim Lampman slows and he's staying on the racetrack. I think the rear end is askew on that car. Rear end dancing all over the place in that 28. Clinton will have to tell me what do they use to locate the rear end in these cars, Clint? And Clint's back in the pits working away, so if he hears that, he'll check in at some point.
I believe this is a leaf spring car, so shackles are keeping it under it, but I don't see it loose, Adam. Maybe you're seeing something I'm not. We'll have to see. And there, yeah, I see a little wiggle with the rear end. We'll follow that one up and get back to you. But yeah, leaf spring car. I believe it's just the shackles that keeps it straight underneath.
So Lampman takes that car back to the pits.
Ryan Beagle works it off a corner 4 to the checkered flag, picking up Heat Race 2 victory. And Chris Hale 2nd, Blake Bomberry 3rd, followed by Turkey. And Donnie Lampman at the line. Mike Thorne back there as well. And the 327 of Trevor Jones.
Heat race number 3 about to roll onto the racetrack in turn 3, and this is how they'll line up. From Morpeth, Ontario, the 5G is Gord Grant. On the outside of row 1 from Hagersville, the 23 is Trevor DeBoer. Starting 3rd from Hagersville, he gave it a great try last week, came up just short in the feature. Car number 8 is Ryan Dinning, and alongside him from Jerseyville, the 53 is Logan Schwedick. Starting 5th from Hamilton, the 25 is Ken Sargent. To his outside from Hagersville, the 49, Brewster Baker, Dave Bailey. Starting in 7th out of LaSalle, the 39 is Kevin Demore. Starting 8th from Ohsweken, the 29 is Robbie General. Rounding out the field, starting in 9th in the 07, it's Brian Pachetti. Happy birthday to Sandy Pachetti, 70 years old, from the 07 Thunderstock. Brian Pachetti is in this race. Green flag is out there down into turns 1 and 2. Trevor DeBoer is out front. They're 4 wide for the 3rd spot behind Logan Schwedick.
Trevor DeBoer works it off a corner 4, really pitched that car sideways, works it down the banking and across the stripe to lead the lap. Schwedick tucked in behind him with Bailey, the point leader, right there with him. Dinning and Sargent worked the bottom in those Club 54 racing machines, and we got a spinner in corner 2.
Gord Grant in that 4G, I believe, or is a 5G, goes around in turn 2, gets the car pointed in the right direction. And look at this 5-car battle at the front of this one.
There's a lot of feature wins there in that bunch. As Trevor DeBoer works it down the backstretch, Dinning, Schwedick, Bailey, and Sargent. Sargent wisely backed out of it on the backstretch there.
What do you call a group of Camaros like that? Like seagulls or a flock?
I don't have anything.
No, well, I really didn't give you much to work with there, but
I'd say a gaggle, but that's geese.
that's true. One of them is called a murder. Did you know that? It's true. Crows, that's correct. I almost taught you something, Greg, but instead it was Darren. What a battle. One of the best races of the year, and here I am. Wasting it.
Wasting 3 wide off the fourth corner. The best of this division all going at it. Trevor DeBoer, Logan Schwedek.
Oh, there's one around in turn 1.
Gord Grant right there.
He had a great view of that battle. Wow, look at them go.
He could see the whites of their eyes.
Look at they're coming right for us.
Apologize to all our southern viewers that just tuned in. Or tuned out.
Why are we apologizing?
For that little accent or whatever it was you just did.
That was South Park.
Oh, South Park, sorry.
What were they hunting? As long as you say they're coming right at us, you could shoot at will. I don't think the Callan household is really one for watching South Park.
No, it is not.
You don't know what you're missing.
So 5 laps on the board, come back single file here on the restart. Trevor DeBoer leads him over Logan Schwedek, Ryan Denning, Dave Bailey, and Ken Sargent.
I got some great suggestions on what you call a group of Camaros, but some of them I can't say. Do you know any compound words that start with cluster, Greg?
I'm staying out of this. Trevor DeBoer leads over Dave Bailey, Ryan Denning, and Logan Schwedek hanging in the 4th spot. White flag comes out.
One more time around as DeBoer leads the way over Bailey. Bailey up the outside of 1 and 2. He gets a run up on the rear bumper of the 24 DeBoer. He'll head to the outside down into 3 and 4. Bailey with a nice run off the 4th turn. The checkered flag is in the air. Bailey for the win. DeBoer, Schwedek, Dinning, Sargent, Lampman, Pachetti, and Grant.
Ouch, Ed. Ed, you hurt me. Says, you had that view a few times last night, Greg, talking about Gord Grant facing the leaders. I was nowhere near the other two, so I didn't get to see much. It was only twice.
I don't know if Clinton Jeffrey is live right now, but I suggest
I hope he is.
live on a mic.
Oh, okay.
Before the races, he gave me the dirtiest look I've seen all year because I told him the heats would be done by 8:45 tonight.
I thought he was more upset about the color of shirt you wore tonight.
You know what?
Just because it's fall doesn't mean you wear pumpkin spice.
I've been licking my shirt all day.
It looks like it. A plop of Camaros. I like that.
A plop of Camaros, what Adam had down the front of his shirt today when he showed up. I gave him 2 instructions: to show up at the barn at 6 o'clock with a clean black shirt on. So he showed up at 6, but with a stained orange-brown shirt on.
And I knew it was going to get dirty, and my black shirt was being brought to me by my lovely wife, and she forgot it. But I couldn't say that because it's never my wife's fault. B-Main number 1 for the crate sprints on the pole in the 1A out of Beans Hills, Paul Claker. On the outside from Fonthill, the 08 is Stephen Beckett. Starting 3rd from Scotland, the 83 is Spencer Davis. 4th out of Welland, the 3B is Blaine Barrow. 5th from Burford, the 12 is Brad Heron. 6th from Thamesford, the 14 is Eric Gledhill. 7th from Woodstock, the 29W, Tyler Ward. 8th from Beachville, the 5 is DJ Christie. And rounding out the field from Ohsweken is Derek Miller.
Oh, DJ Christie goes around. This has not been his night. He'll come to a stop in corner 2, and that will put us back under the caution flag.
Yeah, that was a tough run down the front stretch into turn number 1. There was a lot of jockeying for position. James Woods, who was the donor of one of the go-karts last night that we raced in, said, I know Ron and I thought we might be buying body parts a couple times there for the carts, because when you spun around, I clipped you pretty good with the right side of the cart, but they're pretty durable, Greg.
That was minor contact.
It's not as minor, though, when you're one of the ones in the carts, are they? It's easy for us to say, oh, not much contact. Meanwhile, I had to change my shorts. We're going to try this again. Paul Klager on the inside, Beckett on the outside. Blaine Barrow with a big run last time. I don't think Beckett's going to let that happen again. Unless he does.
Wow, they are hungry to get into the A-main. Look at them all going at it here. Blaine Barrow side by side. Paul Klager inches ahead into corner number 3.
DJ Christie with a bold move, threading the needle between Spencer Davis and Stephen Beckett. Beckett returns the favor, gets up in front of the 5 of Christie.
Christie handling that car with some problems at nose wing. Toppled over on the left side, gives him a little bit more of a handful, and he's got to get up inside that top 2.
2 drivers will transfer. Paul Klager with a problem in the Schneider Electric number 1. That car is just not up to song out there as he is trying now to get out of the way. The top 2 have driven away now. Gledhill and Christie battle for 3rd.
Heartbreaker for Paul Klager came into tonight 6th place in the points. This will hurt his cause here this evening as they work down the backstretch. Blaine Barrow leads over Stephen Beckett. Then it's Gledhill and Christie with the cross flags coming out.
6th place in points is out of the race. 5th place in points is out of a transfer spot, and DJ Christie, the top 2, duking it out. Blaine Barrow in the 3B, Stephen Beckett in the 08.
Beckett down to the inside of Blaine Barrow, and Blaine Barrow, since his crash on the front stretch, why is it? Comes out and now all of a sudden is right up there running strong, and Blaine, ever since that wreck, has really had things going. Here he is in a transfer spot, looking racy in the richest drywall, number 3B.
Barrow in the 2nd spot, but Gledhill is closing the gap in that number 14. Eric Gledhill is really gobbling up the distance to Blaine Barrow. He lost a bit of time there in turn 2.
Oh, DJ Christie with problems out of corner 2. Banging on the steering wheel. He is upset. Driver of the 5-star is going to come to a stop down in corner number 3. And the caution flag will come out, wondering if it maybe just hopped out of gear and he thinks he can get it refired. That being the reason he didn't pull to the infield. He may feel he still has a shot here.
You may be right.
Could see him as he was going down the backstretch. It looked like he was pounding his fists on the steering wheel, just upset.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere. He's kind of waving that off. And I mean, this is a division where DJ Christie is a feature winner this year. And not in a transfer spot. I was looking through the point standings today online, Greg, and it's fascinating to see only one driver that's qualified for all the races. And I know we've talked about it, but you look up and down the line, there's a lot of drivers that have failed to qualify for 2 races this year that are very good. It's just that difficult.
Well, guys, DJ Christie's seatbelt came off here rolling down the back straightaway, so he'll get a moment to get it back buckled up. Either way, going to be a long road to the front for DJ here in this one.
Yeah, that's a... you don't see that very often mid-race. Like, you'll see it at the start of a race. People come out and things weren't buckled up quite right, and they'll stop and get things sorted. But this deep into a race, not something we see all the time. I wish we had a close-up of Clint pushing that car so hard. He really put his all into that. You be careful, Clint. We don't want you breaking a hip.
So DJ will rejoin the tail of the field here and get ready and try and work his way back up. Oh.
Hey, I forgot about backpack week last week, but I bought them all and it's left over. How do I get
DJ Christie trying to get a spot back, but he was the cause of that caution, so he will have to go tail for that one.
Doug Leonard scolding. And we got some back. So you've got 5 backpacks to give away?
Yeah.
Courtesy of Mr. Hill. Well, leave them here, and we'll get that done in the next 5 minutes or so. If you're okay doing that.
Back to the green flag. Stephen Beckett leads. And here comes Eric Gledhill trying to get into a transfer spot, but Blaine Barrow scoots back by.
Blaine Barrow up into second. Gledhill working the bottom of the racetrack. Brad Herron right behind him. 2 laps to go.
Stephen Beckett leads him down into corner number 1. Barrow and Gledhill wheel to wheel as they work off of corner 2. Gledhill gets a good run in the Oakwood Transport number 14.
These guys racing hard. This is their chance to get into the show. Gledhill on the bottom. Barrow up top. 1 lap to go.
Barrow working that outside line. This is how intense it can be for these drivers. 1 spot, you're done for the night. Barrow now looks down to the inside of Gledhill. Coming to the checkered flag. Beckett will get the win, and Gledhill will get the final transfer spot in this B main over Barrow. And then it'll be Herron coming home in 4th. DJ Christie, the winner 2 weeks ago, will not make the A main. Spencer Davis and Derek Miller done for the evening as well.
Greg, this is more your forte, I'd have to say. What do you want to do with these backpacks?
All right, this
is your opportunity to meet a crate sprint car driver as well, because he's going to be at the top of the deck here with these 5 backpacks in hand. It's not a bad view from up here, eh? It's not as nice as behind the wheel, but...
All right, let's go with this. Any youngster that is color coordinated with these bags, if you're wearing some orange tonight,
come on up to the outside of the tower. So here's where you got to take these bags and meet these youngsters. So you're the judge. If they're wearing orange, they get a backpack. Any orange at all.
Darren said as much orange as you're wearing, you qualify for all 5 bags, Adam.
Oh, he's got jokes.
All right, we need some youngsters up here. You got some orange on, you want to win a backpack full of school supplies.
Right up to the tower.
I didn't get no school supplies. I just threw $20 in each.
Oh, even better. There's money instead of school supplies in the bag.
And now the orange is coming right up to the announcer's tower. I see 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's going to be a race for the last spot. Heck, I'm wearing orange. I'd take 20. Happy birthday to Tony Kelly. Wow, and for his birthday, he let Cole Hardy use his race car. B-Main number 2, the top 2 will qualify. Jesse McDonald in the 88, Brandon Merle in the 19, Trevor Young in the 51, Travis Hofstetter scheduled to be out here in the 2, Darren Dryden in the 43, Adrian Staley in the 50, Noel Teal in the 14, and Jason Dixon in the 69.
Final 2 spots into the A main for the Strickland Brantford Chevrolet Crate Sprint Car Division. All the blue and white cars made it into this B main.
Yeah, that's a lot of blue.
As Noel Teal goes around on corner 4, and that will put us under the caution.
Intro will be animated intro to you guys without being on camera.
Spencer Mullen giving us some instructions over the radio how the broadcast is going to go. We're about 5 minutes away, Greg. And I'm going to ask Spencer. Spencer, how did you make out with the getting the audio working through the grandstands? What could go wrong? Put your headset back on.
Have a fun show.
You can't get any answers without your headset. All of our knowledge comes in the voices in those.
Sorry. I forgot there's no professionalism with you.
Here's how it's going to work, guys. We're going to finish this crate B main, then we're going to come back with a quick intermission to intro the show. Then we'll get going with the mini stock B main. Here we go.
Jesse McDonald down in the corner number 1. In the Enrium Dynamics, car number 88. Adrian Staley back there in the 50 machine. Brandon Merle in that number 19 makes the long haul from Gore's Landing to get here to Ohsweken Speedway on a Friday night. He's sitting there looking at those top 2, just trying to claw his way into the A-main.
I like what Darren Dryden did there, headed right up to the outside of the racetrack. If he can figure out how to keep that 43 wound up, I think he could make some tracks. He's just losing a little bit too much speed heading up there.
Jesse McDonald out in front, Adrian Staley. Those are the 2 cars right now headed to the A-main here tonight as they work it across the stripe to complete lap number 4.
Jesse McDonald struggled in his qualifying heat, and of course that's what led him to run this B-main. Trouble in turn 2. Noel Teal around once again, and that'll bring out a yellow.
All right, we'll get you folks to get your fan appreciation tickets out right now. We're going to announce the winning numbers for the fan appreciation draw. These are the tickets you got on your way into the Speedway. If you have any of these numbers, go to the main entryway to claim your prize here in the next 15 minutes. Adult ticket 51104, 51104, 51024, 51024. Children's ticket 47757, 47757. Seasons Pass 572-294, 572. If you have any of those numbers, go to the main entryway to claim your prize. Again, adult ticket 51104, 51024, 47757, and 572-294. Again, those are your fan appreciation numbers. Go to the main entryway to claim your prize.
So we're going to set him up once again. It'll be 3 laps to go in this B main for the crate sprints. And Noel Teal in the 40 pulling that Enrium Dynamics machine into the pits.
Green is out. Jesse McDonald leads it into corner 1, and Adrian Staley opens the inside lane for Brandon Merle, but he'll have to slide back in that 3rd spot. Staley got a good run through 2.
Yeah, Staley getting a good start, and he definitely needed it. Built up a bit of a cushion over Merle. Darren Dryden back in 4th. Trevor Young in 5th. Laps are winding down. It'll be white flag this time at a turn number 4, I believe. No, I'm wrong.
Donald Staley still the top 2. Make it into tonight's A-main for the Strickland Brantford Chevrolet Crate Sprint Car Division. Kyle McKenzie will put up the popsicle 6 this time by.
Staley doing a great job in that 50. The pressure is on in a race like this where you have to perform. As I say that, Staley got wicked loose in turn 1, but Brandon Merle not able to close in.
Down the backstretch for the final time, Jesse McDonald leads over Adrian Staley. As we work it off a corner 4, checkers out. McDonald will pick up the win. Staley will also go to the A-main. Brandon Merle, Darren Dryden, and Trevor Young will be done for the evening. So that concludes qualifying for the Strickland Brantford Chevrolet Crate Sprint Car Division. We'll do the lucky program prize draw really quick here. So get your programs out. You can claim your prizes down to the base of the flag stand.
Good evening, race fans. Welcome to Ohsweken Speedway and All North Racing powered by Pinty's. It is championship night at the Big O. I'm Adam Ross. Joining me is Greg Callan. Clinton Jeffrey is trackside, and Greg, the season has built up to this point. The next 2 weeks here at Ohsweken, huge weeks. Tonight, of course, we crown our track champions. Next week with the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals on Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, a lot of money's being thrown around here in these 2 weeks. Tonight it's championship checks. Next week it's going to be the big checks for the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals. So a lot of excitement, and that brings out the best in all of these racers. Going to be an exciting night here as 3 of the 4 divisions here this evening, they're not even decided yet. We have no idea who's going to be the champ.
In the sprint cars, our premier division, the Core Pack Merchandising, Cool Kids, Water, Sprint Cars, Dylan Westbrook, looking to be the first 3-time champion since Glenn Stiers did it 15 years ago. He has a 2-point lead over Mac DeMann. Corey Turner still mathematically involved in that championship. He's going to need a little bit of help.
Yeah, and then you look at the crate sprint car division. How about 14-year-old Nick Sheridan leading the way, 12 points over Lucas Smith. And Jesse Costu was the point leader for much of the season. He's still in there, but he's got a little bit of work to do. He's 26 points back.
Yeah, he needs some help as well. Of course, in the Thunder Cars, Dave Bailey, an unprecedented 5th consecutive Thunderstock championship. And in the HRW Automotive Mini Stocks, we're about to see their B main, Greg, but this is going to be a lot of fun. Coming into tonight, a dead heat between Kyle Wirt and Dusty DeBoer. So the 19 and the 23 are tied. And how about the youngster Tristan Da Silva in the 0-1? Again, mathematically still very much alive should anything happen to that top 2.
It's going to be an interesting night tonight for sure for all of these drivers. And earlier on, we had a chance to talk to some of the different championship contenders.
They're going to take consistency because we are in the lead in the points right now. So as long as we get a good up top finish tonight, we don't have to win. Just got to finish ahead of the other competitors.
To win the championship tonight, it's going to take a lot of luck, some really good setup, and maybe some misfortune to some others. But I hate to be like that, but it is what it is.
We're going to have everything go right. Starts with the pill draw. Luckily, that is going a lot better than last week. We're going to have some other people have a little worse luck than us because we got a long way to go after our problems last week. So we got to have a really good night, keep an eye on the track, make sure our car's set up good, and see how the cards fall after that.
Just consistency. Pretend it's another night of racing. Unload the same way we unload. We brought a good car, and just check every nut and bolt and get her done on the track.
We went through a car a whole lot during the week, so hopefully I have no mechanical failures. Just hit my line every time I'm out there, and I have a little bit of luck too. That's always a part of racing.
We're going to need to have a fast car. We got our Petro Plus gas station car out tonight, so new ride for us, and just going to have to be fast in the heat race, fast in the feature, and get a little luck on our side.
In order for me to win the championship tonight, I just need to keep doing what I've been doing every week, keeping the car flawless. Just had to change tires coming in, and that's about it. Everyone else I've been up against so far have come in with problems. Just got to keep going green, keep it clean, and finish the race.
Hopefully we get some good luck and we don't wreck the car, and we just got to beat Dusty and Tristan, and hopefully we can lock her in, but it'll be a fight for sure.
I think it depends on what Kyle does. I think everybody expects him to win, even though we're tied. He's going to start ahead of me. He's been faster all year, and it depends if he drives trying not to lose or trying to win. I think that's going to make the difference, and I've just got to take advantage if he does make a mistake, and be there at the end.
A lot of calm faces for some of these drivers racing for the points titles here tonight, but I think the butterflies are about to set in. We're about to see the B main for the HRW Automotive Mini Stocks when we return on All North Racing, powered by Pinty's.
What makes a trailer a Miska? Is it the heavy-duty Canadian steel they are made from? Or is it the exceptional finish that will last year after year? How about knowing that these are the best back trailers in the industry? These are the reasons you buy Miska. So what makes these trailers a Miska? It's the hard-working Canadians who craft them. We are Miska. We are Canadian tough.
TV, the only network dedicated to all things motorsports, is racing across Canada now. The only network destination of all things motorsports. MAV TV offers every type of motorsports racing. With grassroots racing events from across the country and around the world, MAV TV's programming schedule is truly second to none. MAV TV Canada. Contact your TV provider for availability now.
This segment is brought to you by the Pinty's Fall Brawl at Chiefswood Motor Speedway, Saturday, September 28th. Tickets start at $40. Witness the crowning of the NASCAR Pinty Series champion, plus Ontario's limited late models in a 50-lap shootout. Visit ChiefswoodMotorspeedway.com for details.
Powered by Pinty's at Ohsweken Speedway here on Epic RACEWEAR Championship Night. My name is Greg Kellman. With me here in the towers, Adam Ross. Joining us down trackside is Clinton Jeffrey as we get ready for the last chance qualifier for the HRW Automotive Mini Stocks. This is how they'll line up for the last chance dance. Going from the pole out of Hagersville in the 16J, that'll be Jeremy May. And going from the second spot from Caledonia, the 517 is Cody Somerville. Going from third out of Hamilton, the 96, Brian Crosgrove. And from the fourth spot from Dunnville, the 16T is Jason Thompson. Starting in position number 5 out of Simcoe, the 5, that'll be Rick Robinson. And going from 6th from Caledonia, the 265, Mike Evers. Rolling off 7th from Waterford in the 46, Wade Thorne. And starting in 8th out of Dundas, the 21 of Jonathan Ayrton. And going from 9th from Port Colborne, the 14L, is John Lubeck. Now, last chance to get into the A main, and two names that really stand out to me, Adam. Wade Thorne, Jonathan Ayrton, they're the two most recent feature winners here in this division.
That's the beauty of Ohsweken Speedway and the beauty of motorsports. It's a humbling sport, Greg, and they've had their struggles earlier on tonight. So they will hope for better things as Jason Thompson getting a push up there through 3 and 4. That car not coming to life when the field rolled to start this B-main event. So looks like Thompson may be pushed all the way back to the pits and his night could be over prematurely.
So Jeremy May and Cody Somerville will bring us to the green flag once the field is set. White flag will be displayed this time around by starter Kyle McKenzie.
I can overhear Doug Leonard in the officials room next door just going to town on the radio. Something is gone down. Something or someone is not ready for things to proceed here, and he is saying quite emphatically that they need to get rolling.
Well, what's going on, Adam, is we want to keep the program waiting. You know how valuable everybody's time is here. Every second, we don't like to waste even one. And with the crates not having a lot of B mains between their B main and their A main, they're being told very distinctly that they have 5 minutes before their feature is going to start, and we will start without them if they're not on the line. We will not be waiting for anybody today because we've got tons of viewers watching on our simulcast here on MAV TV Canada and, of course, around the world. So we want to welcome all here. We want to save every second. We will not wait for the crates. Get ready, guys. We're coming back to it.
Well, they'll get a little bit of extra time here as Jeremy May's season continues to get worse. The 16J coming to a stop down the inside of corner number 2, and he will get the push back to the pit area, so will not be able to start this last chance qualifier.
And Clinton, everything is measured. Everything about the program is done for a reason, right down to the Thunderstocks being the final feature of the night. That was the one division where the championship had already been decided. So basically, when deciding the race order for this week, put the Thunderstocks last. Should weather roll in, should something happen to shorten the program, at least that gives a chance of not affecting a championship that has a tight battle. So everything about the program is done for a reason.
Yeah, and to save every possible second we can to give the race teams enough time to get ready But with not needing a 360, a Thunderstock B main, that left 2 big gaps between when the crates had their B main and their normal feature time, and really accordioned that up to shorten up that time zone for them to get ready. So they've been told over there, and it is a lot of coordination to take our live program and meet the demands of live television, and we pretty much got her down now.
I find you very demanding myself, Clinton.
Well, do your job and you won't ever hear from me.
There you go. You haven't been over here in the tower tonight. It's been great.
Green flag out here in the Consi for the HRW Automotive Mini Stocks. Rick Robinson and Cody Somerville were up there in the front row, but look at the last 2 weeks' winners. They're spreading on the inside and outside. The 46 of Wade Thorne, the 21 of Jonathan Ayrton, they go to the top 2 spots very quickly.
And if you remember, the 265 of Mike Evers, he was real quick in one of our recent features. I can't remember if it was last week or the week before, but he led a bunch of laps before something went amiss on the race car, and things didn't turn out the way he wanted them to.
Thorne and Ayrton 1 and 2 with Evers back there in the 3rd spot. Rick Robinson now into the 4th position. And John Lubeck back there in position 5, the 14L. Cross flags in the air for Wade Thorne and Jonathan Ayrton.
And they're building up a gap between themselves and Mike Evers in the 265. Jonathan Ayrton closing in on the 46 of Thorne. And I've got to say, Greg, in my opinion, this is like a feature event track. This track is slicked over to the point that we would normally see towards the end of a race night, unless I'm seeing things differently than you are.
No, it looks exactly like that. So I think for some of these drivers here in the B main, they're going to get a better look than some of these guys that haven't run since early on in the night. Remember, the mini stocks were the division that got us going. So that was back at 7:30. Well, they were the second in the order tonight, but still the track was definitely different. So these B main drivers and in Wade Thorne and Jonathan Ayrton, obviously 2 drivers that can get it done. So they got some valuable track time there.
They did so, and we can see the push vehicles up off the back straightaway up in turn number 3. They are all lined up and ready to go, so I believe the crate sprints, sponsored by Strickland's GMC, are just about ready to roll onto the racetrack.
Final points night of the year for the Strickland Brantford Chevrolet Crate Sprint Car Division. Nick Sheridan, 14 years old, at Mount Bridges, comes in with 3 wins, 9 top 5s, 10 top 10s, and he leads by 12 points over Lucas Smith, who is out of Brantford, Ontario, who is now a veteran of this division, and Jesse Costa out of St. Thomas, who led for a majority of this season in that 52 machine, 3 wins this year. It's going to be a fight here, 20 laps the distance to decide.
And I'm going to put you on the spot, if you don't mind, Greg. Do you know the point structure that we race with? I know you've got everything on your computer there, so
yes,
if you can pull that up so we can crunch numbers as the race goes on, I'll tell you how they're going to line up for this feature event. On the pole out of Vanessa, the Oakwood Transport, number 4, it's the Hurricane Hannah Farrell. On the outside out of St. Thomas, number 52 is Jesse Costa. Row 2 on the inside from Ancaster, the 26X is Terry Baker, and alongside him from Mount Bridges, the 45 is Nick Sheridan. Starting 5th from Stony Creek, the 24A is AJ Lewis, and starting 6th from Port Colborne, the 5D is Jacob Dykstra. Starting 7th out of Brantford, the 49L is Lucas Smith. Starting in 8th from Hagersville, the 49H is Jerry Hill. Starting 9th from Hamilton, the 56 is Derek Lemaire, and rounding out the top 10 in the number 20, the Iceman from Six Nations, Johnny Miller. Starting 11th out of Ohsweken, the 9C is Brian Nanakoke. Starting 12th from Kitchener, the 39 is Shane Stickle. Starting 13th out of Waterloo, the 19D is Alan Downey, and starting 14th from Rockwood, the 74 radio shuttle entry is Rob Neely. Starting 15th from Bimbrook, the 29 is Liam Martin. Starting 16th from Niagara Falls, the 70 is Bailey Hurd. Starting 17th from Hagersville, the MK8 is Matthew Hill. Starting 18th from Waterdown, the 5C is Connor Mahoney. Starting 19th from Ohsweken, the 28 is Jordan Hill. And starting 20th from Ohsweken, the 69 is Josh Hill. In 21st from Font Hill, the 08 is Stephen Beckett. Starting 22nd from Caledonia, the 88, Jesse McDonald. Starting 23rd from Thamesford, the 14 is Eric Gledhill. And rounding out the field from Kitchener, the 50, LS, it's Adrian Staley. And I want to give a congratulations, Greg, to the 49L of Lucas Smith, the only driver to have taken the green flag in each one of our feature events this season. Hats off to you, to the driver of the Massage Pro, number 49L.
I never would have imagined it'd be one driver.
No.
When you brought that up at the start of the year, I thought there'd be multiple, but pretty impressive.
Week after week, it trimmed down, fewer and fewer. There are 2 drivers who qualified for every feature event. The 49L of Lucas Smith, the 52 of Jesse Costa, but Jesse Costa failed to start one of the features he qualified for, so Lucas Smith just gave the thumbs up. We give the thumbs up right back. Good job, Lucas Smith.
Adam, you asked about the point structure. It is the same between the 360s and the crate sprint cars, and it's very simple how it works. If you win the race, you get 85 points. Second place is 4 points back. You get 81. Back to third is a 3-point difference from second to third, so it's 78. From third back to 24th, a position is 2 points.
So if Nick Sheridan finishes in the top 3, he wins.
Yes.
So that'll be the first and easiest way that we'll determine this, is we're getting a great look at the starting grid. Rolling alongside one of our safety vehicles out there on the racetrack. White flag, Kyle McKenzie says we're going to let you loose in one more lap. The Hurricane Hannah Farrell, she won her qualifying heat. She is still looking for feature win number 1. Could be the night.
It all comes down to this, the championship on the line for the Strickland Brantford Chevrolet Crate Sprint Car Division. You got to bet the butterflies are buzzing around inside now.
Double green flags in the air. We are underway with the Strickland GMC Crate Sprint feature event.
Bold move right off the bat by Nick Sheridan. Dropped down to the inside lane in that third position, trying to track down Jesse Costa and Hannah Farrell. He's right now where he wants to be, coming down to complete lap 1.
First lap clean and green. We've got one up off the racetrack. I believe that's Adrian Staley at the tail end of the field. He will gather it up and keep on going.
Here comes Sheridan as Johnny Miller has problems mid-pack, drops back a few positions, get the car back up to speed. Top 3, it's Hannah Farrell, Jesse Costa, Nick Sheridan. Then you've got Jacob Dykstra back there in 4th. And how about A.J. Lewis up there inside the top 5?
Yeah, A.J. Lewis having a great run in that Insta Panels number 24A. That's Lucas Smith right behind him. So all the players in the championship, our 3 contenders, are in the top 6 already.
Hannah Farrell has been on fire as of late. She's been on the podium the last couple of weeks. She did have the rule infraction that bumped her off the podium in one of those races, but she's proved that she belongs up here in front. She's come oh so close in the past. Does not yet have that win. She's on track for it right now.
Jacob Dykstra makes a pass on Nick Sheridan for the 3rd spot. Sheridan back to the bottom of the racetrack. He'll try to take it back, but no, Jacob Dykstra has the spot at the line.
They work down the backstretch. The leader's already seeing lap traffic in front in that first lap car. That's going to be Jesse McDonald. I talked to him at the start of the night. He said, just can't wait for this season to get over. It started out good for the driver of the 88, but didn't end so well.
He had some hard crashes along the way, and I know they affected him. He was a hurting unit for a little bit of this season. Is right in front of Hannah Farrell. McDonald shoots to the outside of the racetrack.
Farrell leads it down across the stripe, and now we'll have Johnny Miller right in her sights as Jesse Costa has gotten by the 88 of Jesse McDonald, and now Nick Sheridan feeling some pressure from Jacob Dykstra. Sheridan sits in 3rd. He's got Dykstra and Smith right behind him. Smith knows he needs to get by that 45.
It's an important pass for Lucas Smith in that 49 machine as he heads to the outside of the racetrack. Hannah Farrell gets bottled up behind Johnny Miller. Here comes Jesse Costa.
Yeah, that cost her a lot as Jesse Costa's right there in the back. Nerf Bar Costa slings around the outside of Miller.
Down into corner one they go with Hannah Farrell thick in traffic. Costa there loses a little ground in corner two, and Nick Sheridan begins to reel the top two in.
Lucas Smith just tried to put a move on Jacob Dykstra. He really got crossed up there in turn number 2, had to check up. Now we'll make a move on Nick Sheridan. Slide job. Sheridan having some handling issues in that 45.
He said it is what it is in his interview at the start of the night, and that pass just said it all. He knew he had to get by. He works by Sheridan, shuts the door, as out in front, Farrell leads over Costa, Dykstra, now Smith and Sheridan back to 5th.
Clean and green we've been since the drop of the green flag. Hannah Farrell to the inside of Adrian Staley. She's working the bottom of the racetrack. 8 laps to go. Jessie Costa not too far behind, working the outside.
Wow, Farrell really got bottled up behind Shane Stickle and Adrian Staley. Here comes Costa around the outside, shoots by Stickle. He's there within a car length now in corner 3.
Costa up on the outside. Hannah Farrell gingerly working the inside of the racetrack. That requires a lot of throttle control, Greg. Farrell still on the bottom. Here comes Costa down the back straightaway for the lead.
He gets it going into corner number 3. They stay wheel to wheel now. Going up on the high side of 4 is Costa. Working it off the corner of the stripe. Jessie Costa to the point.
6 laps remain in this feature event. Jacob Dykstra starting to close in as well. Lucas Smith driving away from Nick Sheridan. A couple of drivers out here could really benefit from a yellow flag, but nothing doing right now as Johnny Miller takes his number 20 to the pits.
So Jessie Costa sitting out in front. The Hurricane Hannah Farrell not going away. She's still right there. Jacob Dykstra rides in 3rd. Lucas Smith 4th. And Nick Sheridan comfortably right where he needs to be right now to clinch the title.
Hannah Farrell might have learned something just there. She ran the extreme bottom and got some grip in 3 and 4. Loses traction in 1 and 2, but she's closing on Costa.
Here they come. Costa up high. Farrell on the bottom. Here they come into heavy lap traffic. Costa thought about threading the needle. He'll try it again in 1. He gets by Beckett and Hurd. Now Hannah Farrell has to do the same.
Hurd's not giving up. He powers back around the outside of Costa. So he's battling for position. He's got to keep up his fight. Here goes Farrell around Costa.
What a move there by Hannah Farrell. The Oakwood Transport number 4 goes back to the top spot. She's got 3 lap cars between her and second place Jessie Costa.
Where did that move come from? Costa had been looking better and better every lap. 1 more lap to go for Hannah Farrell.
Looking for the first career win. She's got many in the micro sprints, but none yet in the crate sprint car division. She's been driving for Bar Motorsports now for the last couple of seasons, and right in front of her, teammate spins coming off of 4. Checkers coming out. Hannah Farrell will pick up her first career win.
Jessie Costa 2nd, Jacob Dykstra 3rd, Lucas Smith 4th, Nick Sheridan with his 5th place finish is your crate sprint car champion 2019. What a story, Greg. What a race.
Car owner Darren Barr had to be thinking, you can't be joking. As right in front of Hannah Farrell, Eric Gledhill spun Hannah's teammate, got the car back around, and Hannah was able to pull it out and get her first career crate sprint car win.
Jessie Costa in the 52 drove a great race. He was committed up high. That was the line that was working for him. And it was faster for most of the second half of that race, except for the times it wasn't. And Hannah Farrell was able to, the throttle control she showed on the bottom groove, that was a hard-earned victory for the driver of the Oakwood Transport, Lucas Oil, number 4.
Lone Wolf Fireworks going to help her celebrate her first career win. Clinton Jeffries going to be down there in Mr. Transmission Victory Lane to talk to our top 3 and our newly crowned champion, Nick Sheridan.
Tony Spiteri from Pinty's and the gang, they're going to head down to Victory Lane. How about a round of applause for Hannah Farrell?
Hannah Farrell over there to get a quick hug from the Bar team, and she'll work her way over here to talk to us in Mr. Transmission Victory Lane. Hannah, what a run tonight. I mean, this is how you're supposed to do it. Constantly stepping up that ladder, up the podium to where it pays off in a win. Talk about what it means here to be Mr. Transmission Victory Lane on national television tonight.
It means so much to be on Victory Lane here tonight. It was an amazing race, and we were so lucky that we got back and we got back up to the top.
Who do you want to thank for what's been an amazing end to your season, Hannah?
Yeah, it's been an amazing end to the season. I really have to thank everybody at Bar Motorsports for all they do every week. I wouldn't be here without them. All my friends and family, all of our amazing sponsors, but it wouldn't be possible without them.
Where's my female race fans cheering for Hannah tonight? Adam and Greg will send it back up to you. We'll get ready with Jesse and Jacob.
Momentum is an amazing thing, Adam, and Hannah had it going into tonight. She knew what it felt like to be on the podium, and now she's at the top.
And she fought back so hard. Just an unbelievable race. And Clinton Jeffries with the driver who finished second. Not sure if he'll be satisfied with that or not, but it was a whale of a show.
Jesse, safe to say last week's DNF cost you the championship here for the second year in a row. You were the leader for majority of the season. How disappointing are you?
Really disappointed, actually. 2 years in a row you lead it pretty much to the end and get it taken away. But, that's racing. Sometimes you have good luck, some days bad luck. We just got all the bad bounces, I guess, this year. But congratulations to Nick. He obviously ran amazing this year. Got to thank Best Safety Training and the Vanderbeest family, Castro Canada, Leach Performance for the awesome motor, Magnum Size, D&O Towing, Wells Foundry, Ron Genitello Property Maintenance, and Welders Millwrights.
Can you take anything out of this, Jesse? A little bit of satisfaction knowing you won the race tonight. You've been fast all year for 2 years. You're the dominant car everybody's chasing. A bit of satisfaction in that?
Obviously, it's good to know that you're a front runner, but we'll just take it into next year and go from there. Hopefully we get a couple spots better.
Jesse Costa, one of the dominant cars. Jacob, you had high hopes this year, a few times here in Mr. Transmission Victory Lane on the podium. Are you all right with your season results?
I'm okay with it. We've had some pretty bad luck this year, wrecking cars, not finishing where we wanted to. But overall, I think it was a good year for everyone. Great to see her get her first win, and I'd just like to thank all my sponsors, A to Z Expediting, Epic, WeldStar, Caldwell Banker, Bubbles and More, Castro, Renway, Tim's Lawn Care, and I'd like to thank all my crew, like my dad, Ryan, Brian. It's confusing. But they all set this car up amazingly. I wouldn't be here without them.
There you have it, guys. Top three in Victory Lane tonight, Hannah Farrell. And as we get set, we'll send it back up to you. We'll get ready to talk to the champion, at least unofficial champion, Nick Sheridan.
We're going to head to a quick commercial break, and on the other side, our Strickland's GMC Sprint Car champion, Nick Sheridan.
TV, the only network dedicated to all things motorsports, is racing across Canada now. The only network destination of all things motorsports. MAV TV offers every type of motorsports racing. With grassroots racing events from across the country and around the world, MAV TV's programming schedule is truly second to none. MAV TV Canada. Contact your TV provider for availability now. TV, the only network dedicated to all things motorsports, is racing across Canada now. The only network destination of all things motorsports. MAV TV offers every type of motorsports racing. With grassroots racing events from across the country and around the world, MAV TV's programming schedule is truly second to none. MAV TV Canada. Contact your TV provider for availability now.
Back to MAV TV Canada. We are live with Nick Sheridan, the champion of the Strickland's GMC Crate Sprints with Clinton Jeffrey.
Sorry, guys, bit of technical issue there. 14-year-old Nick Sheridan, ladies and gentlemen. Nick, what a run for you, man. Just started 4 days into high school, and here you are, a champion Ohsweken. What does that mean, buddy?
Clinton, I cannot believe it. I mean, if you would have told me at the beginning of this year we'd be sitting here right now as champions, I would have believed you. I would not have believed you at all. I mean, I can't believe it. I'm almost about to cry. I mean, our team's done so well this whole year. I mean, my crew chief, Rick Burt's done everything he could, and so has my dad, and we've been mixing together really well, and we got ourselves a championship.
Congrats, Nick. We'll see you at the banquet. Here's your champion, ladies and gentlemen. Nick Sheridan, 14 years old in his rookie year, wins the championship, gives a big hug to his dad, Ron, and his brother, Jake, is also an up-and-coming superstar on the APC series. So congrats to the Sheridan family.
We just got a nice compliment, Greg, from one of our viewers saying he's a retired TV motorsports producer from Diamond P Sports, complimenting the track and the lighting and the safety crew. But how many races did you watch on Diamond P Sports over the years? I loved their programming.
That brought back a few memories as soon as you mentioned that name.
Actually, the theme song went off in my head. I asked if we could. Actually, I did ask if we could use it for our broadcast because I just love it so much. That meant racing.
So things wrapping up down to Mr. Transmission Victory Lane for the Sheridan team, and we'll bring out the HRW Automotive Mini Stocks with their feature event. And this one is going to be interesting. The top two in points, tied. Dead heat, 937 points apiece. It's been two different ways of getting to the top of the pile, though. Kyle Wirt did it with wins, 5. And it seems when he didn't win, he had problems. On the other hand, Dusty DeBoer quietly has been very good, and he's just there every week. He has one feature win this year, but he's right there in the thick of it. And don't count out Tristan De Silva in that 0-1. He doesn't have a win, but he's been consistent. He's only 19 points back. Ready to go with this one, 15 laps of distance for the championship here tonight for the HRW Automotive Mini Stocks. Starting lineup for this one, going from the pole. It'll be Jason Tolton in the vacuum trucks, number 1 to the outside, the 177. That is Tim Jamieson. Back in row number 2, it's going to be the 360 of Kevin Thorne and the 69 of Rob Twitchett. Apologize, the two cars listed on the graphic, they're actually starting at the tail in this one. So back in row number 2, it's Kevin Thorne, Rob Twitchett. Row 3, the 54. That'll be Christopher French, and the 26 is Tim Newell. Row 4, that'll be Mike Sarantakos in the 6X, alongside Cole Hardy driving the 12 Junior tonight. In the 9th starting spot, Tim DeBoer in car number 9, alongside him, Paul Longboat in the 188 starts in 10th, going from 11th in car 11. That's Jeff Elslager, with Fabio Oliveri to his outside going in 12th. 13th starting position, Aiden Nye in the 88. 14th, tied for the point lead, the 19 of Kyle Wirt. Back in starting spot number 15. He's also tied for the point lead. The 23, that is Dusty DeBoer. And lining up on his outside, that'll be Chris Reichman in the 93 machine. Starting back in the 17th spot, Ryan Hiller. And the other title contender, the 0-1, that's Tristan De Silva going from 18th. 19th starting spot, the 21 of Jonathan Ayrton, who came out of the B main, along with the 46 of Wade Thorne. And then behind them, you've got the 14L joining us tonight. That's John Lubick out of Port Colborne, and the 265 of Mike Evers. The 517, that'll be Cody Somerville. And the 5 of Rick Robinson. The 517, the 05, Dave Goodacre. The 04 of Elise Leduc in the 11. The pinball, Mike Giberson of the Strickland GMC Pace Truck pulls off on the backstretch. Jason Tolton Had a rough week to get here, but he is here, and he starts from the pole alongside Tim Jamieson. Kyle McKenzie will bring us to life with the double greens.
The field rumbles into turn number 1, 5 wide through the corners. Kyle Wirt, I saw him lift a little bit. He hesitated there at one point, but a pretty good start down into 3 at the front. Who's going to lead lap number 1?
It's going to be Jason Tolton. That's got to be a good feeling after the week he has had, thinking he wouldn't even be here. Out in front, gets into Tim Jamieson, who takes a wild, hard hit into the hay bales in corner 2.
That's a holy moly moment for Tim Jamieson, who heads up there. Nothing he could do there once you get up there airborne in turn number 2. Not much he could have done to avoid those hay bales out there. Hopefully, as he looks like he gets the car into reverse, now he's in drive. He's rocking it a little bit out there. He could be hung up on something.
Gets the car back around. Oh, that's a mess on the front end of the 177 for Tim Jamieson. The left front got a ton of camber going. And it's flat.
Yeah, that's a problem. What a shame he had so much speed in that race car, just hard racing down into turn number 1. Things not going to work out too well for Jamieson. So we have a look. Tolton, yeah, he just lost the front end of that race car. And once they made contact, Jamieson was just a passenger. Look at this from turn 2.
The one hits that ripple there. See a lighter patch of brown in the racing surface area. He hit that ripple. It upset the car, went up into Tim Jamieson. And
I'll tell you what, it'd be a lighter patch of brown if I went for that ride. No, I actually won't. Now that I think of it, Greg, I won't tell you.
It's Jason Tolton and Kevin Thorne now will line up on the front row on the restart.
Everyone doubled up. Kevin Thorne on the inside in that Burger Barn 360. Then it's the Gaylor Equipment number 16 of Fabio Oliveri. The Timson Auto number 9 of Tim DeBoer on the outside of row number 2. Kyle Wirt up into the top 10. He runs in the 9th position in that green and white number 19. He is tied for the lead in the points with the white and blue number 23, just a row behind, maybe 2 rows behind on the outside. Still a lot of racing yet to come.
Green is out. Here comes Fabio Oliveri on that restart. Ducked down low, trying to work to the inside of the Burger Barn 360 of Kevin Thorne. Tolton out in front, Oliveri into second. Here comes Tim DeBoer now to the inside of Kevin Thorne off of corner 2.
Dusty DeBoer didn't get a great restart. In fact, there's Tristan De Silva in the 0-1, comes into this race third in points. Wow, Tim DeBoer piled it down into turn number 3. Without making contact, kind of rubbed Kevin Thorne out of the picture there as Fabio Oliveri into second.
Who's working his way to the top 5. Kyle Wirt right there in 6. Oh, he got into Ryan Hiller, gets the car sideways, gathers it back up, but he lets Wade Thorne get by.
Kyle Wirt doesn't look really comfortable out there right now. He might have a tire gone down. He may have bigger problems than that at the moment.
Right rear is down on the 19 of Kyle Wirt. Right front, I believe, is down as well.
Both right side tires for Wirt as he takes it up the outside of the racetrack. He is slow on the track. Will this bring a yellow from race director Doug Leonard as Wirt rolls to a stop?
He'll take another lap, and it looks like the caution flag will come out. So I believe Kyle, even if he gets it changed, he's going to be a lap down.
Fabio Oliveri in the orange number 16 with a problem. He veers off into the pits. We don't have officials' radios on, but Clinton Jeffrey does.
What's that?
You've got an official radio on. Doug Leonard, our race director, is not a big fan of drivers stopping to bring out a yellow. Not sure if that changes on championship night as Kyle Wirt, both right side tires are flat on that number 19.
I wouldn't say it changes on championship night. I would say that Kyle Wirt did a fantastic job of playing the game as it should be played there. With 2 right side tires, you have to figure the car's going to be slowed down to the point that he couldn't get. As you notice, when the yellow came out, he was still trying to move, was not just putting the car driving away like there was never an issue. But the problem Kyle Wirt has now, guys, is he is running out of time. No guaranteed time, no courtesy laps. As soon as Doug Leonard has this lineup correct, we will go back to green flag racing, which could pose a huge problem for Kyle Wirt, who came into tonight, had bad luck about 2 weeks ago, put him in a dangerous position of losing it. And now Tolton in the number 1 heading to the pit area as well with 5 complete.
Man, oh man. And even though we can't follow what's going on back in the pits, you know that there are numerous race teams right now working on that number 19 of Kyle Wirt. Quite often these drivers don't even know who's helping them change tires. So many people come in and take part to help things out. And we will watch turn number 3. That is the entrance to the racetrack from the pits. The white flag is out. Next time out of 4, they're going to go green. We'll watch up in turn 3 to watch for Kyle Wirt's number 19 to reappear.
Now let's not forget, Kyle Wirt could have another shot here. If the yellow comes immediately out and we do not take a lap, he would still be on that lead lap. But the problem here for Wirt is time is ticking away and they are going. Now just to mention, he can come out as long as they have not completed the first lap. Even if he comes out at the tail end of it, he'll still be considered on that lead lap, guys. So he's got about 1 lap to get it together here before they complete that first lap under green.
Well, we're not convinced he didn't already lose a lap on the racetrack if they counted the lap that he did not complete with a flat tire. So there is a lot to pay attention to here as we are back under green.
And now Kevin Thorne doesn't come up to speed in the Burger Bar number 360 as he rockets through the middle of the pack. Now he seems to have it going again. And how about Tristan De Silva? He's still in the thick of this. Look at Kyle Wirt. He's back out on track. And you know what? I almost think he should have waited and joined the tail.
Well, no, because he had to get ahead of the leaders or he would have been a lap down.
I thought Clint just said he had the entire lap to join and be on the back.
He had that much time. He had another half a straightaway to get back on the racetrack, or it would have been a lap down situation for him. So Kyle Wirt needs a yellow in this race to rejoin the tail of the field. Dusty DeBoer runs in the 6th spot right now in that 23.
So right now for Tristan De Silva and Dusty DeBoer, that white and orange 0-1, that's Tristan De Silva. He's 3rd place in points. And the point leader unofficially right now is Dusty DeBoer in the blue and white 23. Well, he's right behind the 0-1. Essentially, if they're not within the top 3, those two, Tristan De Silva needs to be 10 spots ahead of Dusty DeBoer to have a shot at this title.
Oh, for sure. And they are halfway through 8 laps in, 7 laps to go in this mini stock feature event. We've seen them go without cautions before, Greg, but it's pretty rare. We normally get 2 or 3 yellows in these races.
Cross flags on the field as Tim DeBoer leads over Jeff Elslager and Ryan Hiller, and often on championship nights. Oh, there goes Kyle Wirt around, spins on the back stretch, trying to get it back under control, and things just have gone bad to worse. This has been his whole last 3 weeks, essentially.
It's been a time to forget for Kyle Wirt as he sits backwards on the racetrack. Doug Leonard, the race director, carefully looking over things. We are still under green at the moment. And now the yellow comes out. Just a precarious spot for Kyle Wirt to be parked in. He's motioning something inside the race car as though he may want to push in that 19 machine.
Well, I was just about to say, if he drives out of this one, he'll be in trouble.
I'll tell you, Kyle Wirt, I mean, he's good at thinking on his feet, even though he's in a seated position right now. Whether that car needs a push or not, I would be requesting a push to make it look like it needs one.
I was about to say, on a championship night, sometimes drivers that are having solid outings don't get talked about like they probably should. I think we need to talk about Jeff Elslager up there. Missed the majority of this season. He was out last year, came late to the party here this year, and he's up there running in that 2nd spot. He's been good all night.
Ryan Hiller in that 21H machine, so close to victory last Friday night. Wade Thorne just beat him out to take his first win. Ryan Hiller looking for his first. Tristan Da Silva looking for his first. Has Elslinger ever won before?
No, I don't believe he has.
So 3 of our top 5 drivers have never won a feature here at Ohsweken Speedway in the mini stock division, looking to cash in for the first time in their careers.
Well, guys, is Wirt on the lead lap according to scoring? That's the question.
We don't have race monitors.
Oh, okay.
Not able to see.
For the sake of excitement, let's assume that he is on the lead lap. Down the back straightaway, Elslinger on the inside. Tim DeBoer on the outside in that 9 machine, the second row, as Ryan Hiller in the 21. Tristan Da Silva in the 01.
1 down, 1 lap down is the 19, guys. Championship has faded away.
Well, still a lot of time left to come, and it's a hornet's nest at the front of this one. Reichman and DeBoer make a little bit of contact down the front straightaway towards turn number 1.
DeBoer up on the top side, Elslinger there in that second position. Wade Thorne 3 wide with Ryan Hiller and Tristan Da Silva. And you said it, it's a hornet's nest right now. And if I'm Dusty DeBoer, I'm the one that's probably cringing the most because where he's at is perfect right now.
Trouble in turn number 4. We got a couple of cars around. Newell in the 26, Guyverson in the number 11. As they work down the back straightaway, Guyverson gets that car turned around. Newell, he's going to get going as well. It'll be 3 laps to go at the line.
They're still 3 wide back in that 4th position with Thorne, Hiller, and Reichman all up there in the mix. Cole Hardy having a good outing in the Kelly Motorsports 12 Junior tonight. As here comes Dusty DeBoer right up behind him.
And as hard as they're racing right in front of DeBoer, this is still anybody's championship. Tristan Da Silva might not be in such a bad spot after all, as DeBoer is really watching them make some questionable moves ahead of him.
Right now, Da Silva would need to double that gap. He's 5 spots up on Dusty DeBoer. If he could do that somehow, if Dusty begins to drop back, he's still got a shot at it. But DeBoer very patiently just riding right there in the thick of it.
Kyle Wirt right up the back end of the 23. Not sure if he knows he's a lap down or not, but he sure is giving that car a drive. White flag. Oh, and the leader loses a wheel. The leader has lost a wheel in turn 2. Here goes Tristan Da Silva.
Looking for his first career win. The green flag is out. Now they're crashing in the backstretch.
Oh, that could have been horrible. Checkered flag in the air. Tristan Da Silva out of turn number 4. He'll take the win. Elslinger second, Hardy in third. Was DeBoer in that? No, DeBoer's out there. I'm sorry. DeBoer finishes 7th unofficially. Oh, 5th on the stripe. Geez, I'm all sorts of wrong. Tristan Da Silva wins. DeBoer finishes 5th. What is that points gap, Greg?
11.
And how far was Tristan Da Silva behind?
19.
Wow! How's that for drama?
He doesn't get the title, but his first career win has got to feel just as good.
Greg, they were trying so hard to crash right in front of Dusty DeBoer. I mean, they were bouncing off each other, bouncing off the walls. Look at this replay down the backstretch after DeBoer loses a wheel. Wade Thorne gets into Ryan Hiller. I thought that wall was going to split the 21 right in half.
We've had photographers over the year argue up and down, I want to stand there. That is why we don't let them stand there.
Man, oh man. Talk about exciting.
That young man is going to be very pumped, and so is his dad.
There are places, and there were times here when the mini stocks would go on the track and people would go to the bathroom or go get a hot dog. There is not that moment anymore. These drivers race so hard, have so much fun. Clinton Jeffries in Mr. Transmission victory lane, and there's a proud father, Mark Da Silva, coming down to pound that roof of that car. He worked so hard to take his boys racing.
Mark Zuba down there from Jibs Action Sport, big supporter of Tristan. He's on the car celebrating his first win. We'll send it down to Mr. Transmission victory lane and Clinton Jeffrey.
Oh, that's awesome. Big hug from his dad, Mark Da Silva. Dusty DeBoer going to come in, give him a hug as well. Fierce competitors, but all smiles. Now Mama Da Silva coming down into victory lane. What a great moment. Clinton Jeffrey, take it away.
Thanks a lot, guys. Well, Tristan, you did what you had to do to contend for the championship. You got the win here tonight. I don't think it was by enough points. You needed a few more on Dusty, but in the end, solid run, and what a way to win your first race here.
Oh man, that was a joyride of a lifetime. I got really scared when I got beside Tim Newell there, but he slowed up me as much as he did the L-Slinger there, and I was able to stick it underneath him and just go with it.
I see your dad coming in, an emotional win, family as well. And Mark from Jibs, one of your longtime supporters. Great that they could all be here with you tonight.
Oh yeah, I got to thank everyone, like my dad every week working on the cars, Mom letting me do this, brother and Blaine always supporting me, Mark Zubo always supporting me every week with Jibs, Leggett's up in Burlington, Let's Landscape, and Mark Butler as well.
Congrats, there you have it. Tristan Da Silva picks up his first career feature win, guys. We'll get ready with second and third.
Let me tell you something about the Da Silva racing family. Tristan races on the dirt. Kyle races on the asphalt over at Flamborough Speedway. They raced go-karts, and Greg, I can't tell you how many times the Da Silvas helped us out racing. They're always the first ones to step in when someone needs a hand. Great to see them have this celebration tonight as Clinton Jeffrey is joined by our runner-up finisher, heartbreaking final lap for Jeff Elslinger.
Jeff, a solid run here today. Still something you can be pleased at to go into the off-season in our final race next week. Solid run for you. You almost had one there.
Yeah, it was close. I don't know what happened to Tim, but man, I almost had it. But yeah, second's good for me. I mean, with the level of difficulty I've had all year, this is fantastic.
Solid run, Jeff. We'll talk over here to Cole Hardy. Now, Cole, you decided to make Ohsweken your home after watching our banquet live stream last year and said, I want to be a part of the Ohsweken family. It's been great to have you here. You haven't had the luck you wanted to, but a solid finish here in this Kelly-owned machine.
You know what? I've been coming here and watching, and last year we did the Art Hill, and that was great, so we decided to make it our home, and we battled all year. We had the nosedive incident on the first night. Yeah, we just battled all year, and Tony was happy enough to let us borrow the car for the final points night, and I guess it paid off. That last lap was really crazy, and I wasn't sure what was going to happen, but we just stuck it in there and made it on the podium.
Good job, Cody. How about it? Your top three tonight, Tristan Da Silva, Jeff Elslinger, and Cole Hardy. Get it done. We'll bring you the champion coming up shortly, guys.
Yeah, when we get back here on Old North Racing, powered by Pinty's, we'll talk with the HRW Automotive Mini Stock Champion, Dusty DeBoer.
What makes a trailer a Miska? Is it the heavy-duty Canadian steel they are made from? Or is it the exceptional finish that will last year after year? How about knowing that these are the best back trailers in the industry? These are the reasons you buy Miska. So what makes these trailers a Miska? It's the hard-working Canadians who craft them. We are Miska. We are Canadian tough.
MAP TV, the only network dedicated to all things motorsports, is racing across Canada now. The only network destination of all things motorsports. MAP TV offers every type of motorsports racing. With grassroots racing events from across the country and around the world, MAP TV's programming schedule is truly second to none. MAP TV Canada. Contact your TV provider for availability.
Back at Ohsweken Speedway, ready to talk to our champion in the HRW Automotive Mini Stock Division. This guy is no stranger to being a champion. Back when we had the Bomber Division, he was the champ there from 2013 to 2015, but his first ever Mini Stock Championship comes here tonight, and it wasn't by many points at all. Clinton Jeffrey will talk with him down in Mr. Transmission, Victory Lane.
Well, here is, ladies and gentlemen, your HRW Automotive Mini Stock champion this year, Dusty DeBoer. Dusty, congrats, man. You've had a great season. You got to be real pleased to be in this one at the end. Solid drive.
Yeah, the start of the year, the first MAP TV night, my car broke, and I didn't get to go out for the feature, and I was in a big hole, and the car was, I don't know, it works good in most conditions this year. We just made it a little better with the setup, and it just kept chipping away, and Kyle would reel off a couple of wins. He'd get ahead, and then I'd gain a bit chunks back when he'd have problems. And tonight, when I was just watching him ahead of me the first few laps, and then he had his tire go down, and he got back out. I saw him running ahead of the leaders, so I thought, okay, I can just take it easy here. And then we had that caution with 5 to go, and I didn't know if he was last. This is awesome. I didn't think I'd be here, but yeah, this is, I don't know, it doesn't get better than this.
There you have it, Dusty DeBoer, ladies and gentlemen, your 2019 HRW Automotive Champion.
Adam, we have to talk about Kyle Wirt and congratulate him on a very solid year, most wins in the division, and just the wheels fell off literally at the end of the season.
You know, and that's the amazing thing about racing, Greg. That's why people come week in, week out. And I think I've told this story before, getting to listen to the late, great Robert Yates at a driver's meeting not too many years ago. But he said, as long as racing stays unpredictable, it'll still remain as popular as it needs to be healthy and successful. And that's what we see week in and week out. Who could possibly predict the things that could happen here? That's why the fans come out and pay the money to see the show. What a night. And yeah, Kyle Wirt, great season. Full handful of feature wins this year, and not quite enough to take home the championship. It only took one feature win to win a title. Is that what Dusty had this year, was one feature win, or do you have more?
One feature win this year. And 5 for Kyle Wirt. It was a division of evenly spread wins as well.
If I hadn't questioned myself right after I said that, I would have sounded really intelligent and informed, wouldn't I?
Just go with it.
I ruined it.
Just go with it.
I shouldn't let facts get in the way of telling a good story, and I did.
2 features still to go, and it's hard to think, can it get any better than what we've already seen in the first 2 features of the night? We've got the Cool Kids Ice and Water Core Pack Merchandising Sprint Cars next, followed by the Thunderstocks.
Here's the question I pose as we're just about to take a commercial break. When we come back, it'll be the 360 Sprints. Hannah Farrell won her heat. Holly Porter won her heat. Hannah Farrell won her feature. Does Holly Porter come out here and win her first 360 feature event? We're going to find out right after this on MAV TV Canada.
MAV TV, the only network dedicated to all things motorsports, is racing across Canada now. The only network destination of all things motorsports. MAV TV offers every type of motorsports racing. With grassroots racing events from across the country and around the world, MAV TV's programming schedule is truly second to none. MAV TV Canada. Contact your TV provider for availability now.
What makes a trailer a Miska? Is it the heavy-duty Canadian steel they are made from? Or is it the exceptional finish that will last year after year? How about knowing that these are the best back trailers in the industry? These are the reasons you buy Miska. So what makes these trailers a Miska? It's the hard-working Canadians who craft them. We are Miska. We are Canadian tough.
MAV TV, the only network dedicated to all things motorsports, is racing across Canada now. The only network destination of all things motorsports. MAV TV offers every type of motorsports racing. With grassroots racing events from across the country and around the world, MAV TV's programming schedule is truly second to none. MAV TV Canada. Contact your TV provider for availability now.
This segment is brought to you by the Pinty's Fall Brawl at Chiefswood Motor Speedway, Saturday, September 28th. Tickets.
Adam Ross down trackside, Clinton Jeffrey. 2 features remain. Up next, the Cool Kids Ice and Water Core Pack Merchandising Sprint Cars. Their feature lineup will go like this. Starting from the pole at a Sunnyvale, Texas, driver car number 15H, that'll be Sam Hayford-Teep Jr., a former winner of the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals. Rolling off second out of Tilsonburg in car number 13, that'll be Corey Turner. Back in row number 2 on the inside line,
The point leader coming into tonight from Scotland, Ontario, D-Dubs, Dylan Westbrook in the 47X, and to his outside, the one of Holly Porter from Dorchester. Row number 3 on the inside, the 0, that's the Red Rocket, Jim Hoopinen, and Jake Brown in the Little Bend 110 starts 6th. Going from 7th, Holly Porter, heat race winner here tonight, goes from 7th, and going from 8th, out of Tilsonburg, car number 13, that will be Corey Turner. And my lineups are not the same as what is on the screen again. So we got Haferteep, Turner, row number 1 will be Westbrook, Porter, row 2, Hoopinen, Brown back on row number 3. Then in row number 4, Scott Kruder and Mac Demand, who won his heat race. He'll start from the 8th spot. Going from 9th, Mitch Brown out of Brantford. And his outside starting 10th, that'll be Steve Lyons, car number 9 out of Carlisle. Going from 11th from Beamsville, the 88H, Josh Hansen. And going from 12th, Tom Hoopinen out of Fenwick in the 27H. 13th starting spot, that's Dan Anico from Ohsweken in the 15 machine. And back at the 14th starting spot, Shane Ross from Thetford in the 5D. 15th will be Aaron Turkey from Ohsweken in the 68. 16th, Sean Evans out of Scotland in the 87X. Jamie Turner from Caister Center in the 11 will start 17th. To his outside, the Six Nations sensation Alex Hill. She'll go from the 18th spot. 19th, Scott Burke from Charing Cross in the 9B, alongside John Burbridge Jr. in the 21. He's from St. Williams. 21st starting spot, Caleb Wood from London in car number 7. Kevin Pauls out of Caister Center in the 46. He will go 22nd. 23rd, Curtis Gartley from Thamesford. And Ryan Turner starts 24th from Caister Center in the 91. Ladies and gentlemen, they're 4 wide and fancy for you, the fans. This is the Cool Kids Ice and Water Core Pack Merchandising Sprint Car A Main. Next weekend, over 60 sprint cars will be on hand for the 15th annual Canadian Sprint Car Nationals. $10,000 to the winner. Our crown jewel event, OhswekenSpeedway.com for advance reserve tickets. Top 5 rows are for sale. The rest general admission. It's going to be a barn burner as always. White flag goes on the field next time by. We're going green flag racing for the Cool Kids Ice and Water Core Pack Merchandising Sprint Cars. 2x2, 12 rows of beautifully prepared sprint cars ready to come to life. Sam Haferteep Jr., Corey Turner on the front row. The Strickland GMC Pace truck ready to pull off on the backstretch. Kyle McKenzie with double greens in hand. Ladies and gentlemen, you came looking for a show. Well, here you go. Let's end all the anticipation as we bring to you our feature presentation. Sam Haferteep brings them straight to the chalk line, creates the suspense and sends them into corner 1. Will lead them off of 2.
Dylan Westbrook with a good start, getting up to that second position. We watch for Mac Demand on the high side, trying to work his way into the top 5 here on this first lap.
Haferteep down into corner number 1 with D-Dubs right behind him. Corey Turner had problems in the hot laps, but that car was good in the heats. Here he is, duking it out with Dylan Westbrook. He's mathematically in the fight.
Yeah, mathematically he is. It's a tall order if he's going to win this title, especially with Dylan Westbrook running as well as he is. How often do you see Westbrook working the bottom of the racetrack? But that's what he's chosen to do here in the early stages of the sprint car feature event.
Sam Haferteep gets across the stripe, leading lap number 3 with Dylan Westbrook and Corey Turner having a good old duke 'em out for second spot. Jim Hoopinen riding back behind them in 4th. Scott Kruder in 5th. And Mac Demand, who's trying to catch D-Dubs in the points, he's back there in 6th.
I do like that Dylan Westbrook has gone a little bit outside of his box to find the fast line. Now he'll head up to the outside of the racetrack and try to close in on Sam Haferteep. Back to the bottom in 3 and 4.
Now remember, Adam, earlier on in the night, problems down the infield as Steve Lyons will pull his car number 9 into the pit, into the infield. Now troubles for Josh Hansen as he gets off track. But remember, earlier on in the night, Mac Demand was dominant as we have one in the wall in corner number 2. That is Jake Brown that slaps the hay bales and puts us under the caution on lap number 6. So Jake Brown, the Little Bend 110, puts us under the caution flag. With 5 laps complete, make that in the Hills Tire and Gas number 110.
I did not see how that develops, but Jake Brown up there with the front end.
I believe he just got up over the banking, and no replay we're being told, but I believe he just got up over the banking there in the corner and got up into the hay bales. Now, Adam, right before that happened, I was talking about Mac DeMann, who in his qualifying heat was very strong, very solid, dominated, got the heat race win, and he beat out Sam Haferty and Dylan Westbrook. But in the redraw for the feature, he drew 8th, and he's already had some work to do. He's up to the 6th spot, but he needs to get up past that 47X to win the title. He's got some heavy hitters right in front to do that.
The challenge here for Mac DeMann is this is not really a Mac DeMann type racetrack. Where Mac DeMann shines is on a track that takes a lot of nerve to be fast. What I think it takes tonight to be fast is a lot of finesse behind the wheel. I'm not saying Mac doesn't have finesse, but on a track where you really got to be gutty, some intestinal fortitude, that's where he really shines. Clinton Jeffrey is on the scene, and what do you got up there, Clint?
Well, you can see the tie rod has snapped up here. The torsion stops are a mess here for Jake Brown. And that right front should not be turned over, Adam. But the problem they've got here is the axle is still all in good condition, but the radius rods, and what I mean by that, and I'm just trying to stay away as the tow truck picks it up. This bar right here should be straight, coming straight down to the front axle. It is pushed and wedged all the way up here underneath his front wing, as you can see. So the bars are broken here on the Brown machine. Here's the other one busted. So they're going to have to work on both those right side torsion, or radius rods, I should say, and the torsion stops out of place too. They have asked for the 2 minutes. I don't think they're going to be able to get it done in 2 minutes, but we'll give them their time anyways.
You know, Haley Isabel Thompson just sent me a note, and she makes a great point. Got to give Jordan Hill, Glenn Stiers a big round of applause. Even Haley had her hand in working this racetrack over the last 6 days. They did a great job, Greg. This is in prime shape next weekend with 60 sprint cars in attendance. This is what you want. Smooth and wide. Doesn't matter if it's tacky, doesn't matter if it's slick. You want it to be smooth and wide when you have big events like Championship Night and, of course, Canadian Sprint Car Nationals next weekend.
And that was kind of going to be my counterpoint to your thought on Mac DeMann. Yes, he is good when that track surface takes a little bit extra nerve to get around, but Mac is also excellent when that extreme top line is available, and it's been there all night long. So although it's not exactly a Mac DeMann track, he still does like it up top. He's good up there, and he can make it work. That's what he did in the qualifying heat, so I don't think he's totally out of it just yet. But
by no stretch.
But to get by Scott Kruder, Jim Hoopinen, Corey Turner, and then Dylan Westbrook, that's going to take some work, and it's going to be exciting to watch here in the next 15 laps.
Well, guys, I got Steve Lyons here in the infield. Steve, you look so good in your qualifying heat. What took the 9 out of this feature?
Something's up with the motor. It just it just lost power coming down the front straight, and it shuddered a little bit, so I shut her down and came in. So we're not sure what's up, but something happened with the motor.
All right, there you have from Steve Lyons, who was last year's fastest Canadian, I believe, at the Nationals, or at least one of the recent years, ran really good in time trials in that gorgeous Nitro 54 number 9. But Steve Lyons out of this one, guys.
And of course, Steve Lyons, also the owner of Creative Edge Signs and Graphics. He has designed a number of the race cars here at the racetrack and put the vinyl on them as we are into the 2-minute work period for Jake Brown. I'm trying to look around on that warm-up track way in the back. Don't see any activity I see back there right now is just Thunderstocks getting ready for their feature event.
Yeah, guys, there was so much damage on there, it would be very difficult for them to get it back together in the allotted time. Not impossible, but difficult for them to get it done. They needed a whole bunch of nuts and bolts taken on and off that car quickly to get them back out here. But the Brown crew has the talent. Do they got the help back there? That's the question.
You know, and that's the big thing. You need a lot of capable hands. We're going to take a quick break here on MAV TV Canada. You're watching All North Racing, powered by Pinty's.
This segment is brought to you by the Pinty's Fall Brawl at Chiefswood Motor Speedway, Saturday, September 28th. Tickets start at $40. Witness the crowning of the NASCAR Pinty Series champion, plus Ontario's limited late models in a 50-lap shootout. Visit ChiefswoodMotorspeedway.com for details.
What makes a trailer a Miska? Is it the heavy-duty Canadian steel they are made from? Or is it the exceptional finish that will last year after year? How about knowing that these are the best back trailers in the industry? These are the reasons you buy Miska. So what makes these trailers?
Back at Ohsweken Speedway as the 360 Sprint Car A main continues on with 6 laps up on the scoreboard. Sam Haferteep leads as they continue to duke it out behind him. It's Dylan Westbrook back to second, but Corey Turner digging back on the inside line, and Mac Demans making a charge. He picked off Kruder.
He just threw a big Hail Mary into turn 3, managed to make it stick, so Mac Demans working every groove he can on the racetrack. He's within 2 positions at Dylan Westbrook.
Here he comes around Jim Hoopin, and he can see Dylan Westbrook. And for Mac Demand, all he needs to do is finish 1 spot ahead of D-Dubs to at least tie him. Now, once you get into the top 3, the points separate a little bit, but interesting stuff going on right now between the top 2.
And Corey Turner giving Dylan Westbrook all he can handle. Now Westbrook makes the pass. Turner back to 3rd. I was watching, I don't know what the hell I was watching. I was mistaken there.
Here comes the battle for the 3rd spot and the possible point lead as Mac Demand working the high side, trying to get by Dylan Westbrook. Turner gets by him the lap before. Now Mac Demand trying to reel him in.
Westbrook down to the bottom, trying to gain ground on Turner as Mac Demand goes off the edge of the racetrack. Manages to keep the same position, but loses some valuable ground to Westbrook.
Out in front, Sam Haferteep is straight away ahead of Corey Turner. Dylan Westbrook back there in the 3rd spot. Mac Demand charging, driving so hard behind him. He can see the point leader right in front.
I think if Westbrook could clear Corey Turner, he could probably drive away a little bit, but he's just not able to win that battle. That allows Mac Demand to stay right on his heels.
Corey Turner having a whale of a run here tonight, probably wishing Sam Haferteep hadn't made the visit here this evening, because that 13 machine has a win this year, but hasn't looked this strong in a long time.
No, we got 1 in trouble up in 3 and 4 right in front of the leader. That was Alex Hill. She manages to keep it on the racetrack, but now things have settled down there in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
Corey Turner is there. D-Dubs about 4 car lengths back, another 3 back to Mac Demand as they're working some lap traffic. Demand draws a little bit closer that time with 5 laps left to go.
Mac Demand just can't get the power down. He's driving into the turns better, but Dylan Westbrook is getting through the middle better than the 17X.
The leader works off of corner 4. Sam Haferteep Jr. leads with 4 laps left to go. Straight away back to Corey Turner, then 2 car lengths back to Dylan Westbrook, and Mac Demand another 4 back behind him.
Westbrook closing in once again on Corey Turner, which may or may not be a good thing for him, because if he varies his line, he could be in trouble. Westbrook off the racetrack. Here comes Demand.
Wow, that was lucky for Dylan Westbrook that Mac Demand didn't get by. They both had problems in the corner. So they work it through corner number 2. This time by, it's going to be 2 laps left to go for Sam Haferteep Jr.
Haferteep out in front all by himself, but all eyes are on the 47X of Dylan Westbrook, the 17X of Mac Demand.
Here they go through to corners 1 and 2. Corey Turner still holding down 2nd. Dylan Westbrook in that 3rd spot. White flag coming out for the leader at the line now. 2nd place coming off of corner 4. 1 going up high. That was Mac Demand. He loses a lot of ground that time to Dylan Westbrook.
Mac Demand just threw an absolute bomb into turn 3. Couldn't quite hang on to the cushion there. Checkered flag for Sam Haferteep.
Coming across the line in 2nd, Corey Turner. 3rd, your champion, Dylan Westbrook. 4th with a valiant effort, Mac Demand. And 5th will be Jim Hoopinen.
You cannot try harder than Mac Demand just did in that 17X. He put that car everywhere on the racetrack. Dylan Westbrook did everything he had to do to win the title. They pull up alongside. I'm sure it is thumbs up all around. Dylan Westbrook, 3-peats for the title, becomes the first driver to do so since track owner and Wall of Famer Glenn Stiers.
Dylan Westbrook has had a history-making year. Of course, that stat you just mentioned, Adam, First three-time three-peat in the championship since Glenn Stiers did it. He also surpassed Glenn in most career 360 feature wins here at Ohsweken Speedway. So it's been a phenomenal year as Lone Wolf Fireworks lights up the sky for Sam Haferteep Jr. in the Hills Racing Town Line Variety, number 15H, the driver out of Sunnyvale, Texas. Definitely will be a threat next week in the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals.
Clinton Jeffrey is down there in victory lane as Sam Haferteep makes the trip up from Texas well worthwhile on this Friday night here at the Big O. Crews and fans and family members making their way across the racetrack as Clinton Jeffrey awaits Sam Haferteep in Mr. Transmission victory lane.
Well, Dylan Westbrook's out of the car, ladies and gentlemen. He'll be your 2019 champion. Here comes Sam Haferteep out of the car as well as he gets ready for next week. How about it for your feature winner, Sam Haferteep Jr.? Thunderstock feature still to come to figure things out here. Sam, come on around here. We'll get a quick word with you. You can pick that up. That's yours. Miles Hill's in here, car owner, to give him a handshake. Sam, welcome back to Canada. Good way to cross the border and get it done.
Yeah, you never know how good you are. These guys race here every week, and you know, we felt pretty good for stages. Like I say, we still got a lot to work on. Still got a lot to get better on, but you know, hats off to Bobby. I only got one guy this weekend, so he's been having to put a lot of weight on his shoulders, and you know, it's just good that we got out of here with a win. And I told Miles if we won tonight, that'd be our casino money this week.
So I guess you're off to the casino then.
Well, maybe not now, but maybe this week sometime. Me and Miles, we both like going to the casino quite a bit, and you know, Pam, she always likes to go along too. So it'll be a good time for sure. But really just getting pumped up for next week. You know, Canadian Nationals. It's been 2011 since I won, and I felt like we probably should have won it 2 other times since then, and just messed up on my end. And this year, I feel like we really got a really good car, and we make some minor changes after tonight. We'll be right where we need to be come Canadian Nationals time.
Solid drive for Sam Haferteep Jr. tonight. Picks it up from Sunnyvale, Texas, all the way down here to pick up the win. We'll send it back to you guys. We get assembled with second and third.
Well, he's the 2011 winner of the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals, and he looks to get his second big trophy next Saturday night. A little test and tune for him this evening, and he said they still have a long ways to go, Adam. Boy, you look good tonight.
Well, I'll tell you what, he did, but so did Corey Turner. And I'm going to tell you, we've watched Corey Turner win races here. I don't know if we've ever seen him run a better race than he did right there. And he's with Clinton Jeffrey right now.
Thanks, guys. Corey, Adam giving you praise, saying he didn't think he's seen you run a better race than you did tonight. Can you be happy with that?
Oh, we're definitely satisfied. You know, Sam's a professional, and he just showed us exactly why there. He's the SAS national points leader, and you know, to run second to him pretty much like a win. I got to say hi to my grandparents and all the people back in Caster Center watching us on MAV. Big thanks to Jay and Celeste and their family, and Gord and Nate and all the guys that are you know, Jeff and Brady and my brother and everybody that's responsible for this. This is the first night out on this car, and this Maxim was just bad fast. So you know, we got our new scheme, Petro Plus, gas station right beside the Burger Barn, so make sure you stop in, check it out. Real fair prices, and obviously see the Burger Barn as well.
Good job, Corey, hitting it at marks. Dylan Westbrook, come on over here. 3-time champion, the winningest driver in the 360 division here at Ohsweken. How about it for your hometown champ, D-Dubs? Dylan, we watched you grow up here through the Stiers Racing crew. Now you're with the Hills Racing team. You had to battle your teammate Mac throughout the whole season. He was on that tail tank that whole race. Talk about your finish to your season and your last regular season feature that helped you pick up the championship tonight.
Well, all season we've been really good. Had a couple little problems throughout it, but made our way through that. Now we were doing really good in that race. We had a good setup. It was just really hard to. There's a lot of moves I would have normally made in a regular race, but I just knew I had to make sure I didn't do anything dumb, mess up, and seen Mac get pretty close to me there, so I had to get back on it. But yeah, really great season.
All right, I'm getting out of here because you're about to get a shower. Dylan Westbrook, your champion. And I wouldn't let them spray it while we were here. Up to you guys as we get set to go. I believe we'll take a quick break and come back here with the Thunderstocks live from Mr. Transmission Victory Lane on All North Racing, powered by Pinty's, here on MAV TV Canada.
MAV TV, the only network dedicated to all things motorsports, is racing across Canada now. The only network destination of all things motorsports. MAV TV offers every type of motorsports racing. With grassroots racing events from across the country and around the world, MAV TV's programming schedule is truly second to none. MAV TV Canada. Contact your TV provider for availability now.
This segment is brought to you by the Pinty's Fall Brawl at Chiefswood Motor Speedway, Saturday, September 28th. Tickets start at $40. Witness the crowning of the NASCAR Pinty Series champion, plus Ontario's limited late models in a 50-lap shootout. Visit ChiefswoodMotorspeedway.com for details.
What makes a trailer a Miska? Is it the heavy-duty Canadian steel they are made from? Or is it the exceptional finish that will last year after year? How about knowing that these are the best back trailers in the industry? These are the reasons you buy Miska. So what makes these trailers a Miska? It's the hard-working Canadians who craft them. We are Miska. We are Canadian tough.
TV, the only network dedicated to all things motorsports, is racing across Canada now. The only network destination of all things motorsports. MAV TV offers every type of motorsports racing. With grassroots racing events from across the country and around the world, MAV TV's programming schedule is truly second to none. MAV TV Canada. Contact your TV provider for availability now.
He will be in this starting lineup, but let's introduce you to everybody else who is also in the starting lineup for the Middleport Mechanical Thunderstocks. Starting on the pole out of Brantford, the 13 is Casey Huffman outside row number 1. And that is not right at all. We can tell you who they tell us is going to be on the pole, but we're going to wait until they roll, and I'll give you the starting lineup as they come on by. I do want to tell you a bit of a story, though. Car number 1 is out of Brantford. Chris Dickey making his final career start at Ohsweken Speedway. He is hanging up the helmet. Here's the starting lineup. Chris Dickey going to start on the pole in that number 1. Outside of him, it's Mark Bazine in the 21X. Row 2 on the inside, Go Fast Teeple in the number 11. Alongside him, it's Adam Plazik in the 41. Row 3 on the inside, Blake Bomberry is in the 24. The 6F is Jeff Rulifs. 6R, rather, is Jeff Rulifs. The 38 is Frank Turkey. Alongside him in the Burger Barn 55, it's Ricky Bobby Mike Thorne. The 84 is Ryan Beagle. To his outside is the 28D of Donnie Lampman. 23 is Trevor DeBoer. The 79 is Chris Hale. The 53 is Logan Schwedick. The 8 is Ryan Dinning. The 49, once he takes the green flag, he is our track champion. Brewster Baker, Dave Bailey in the 49. Alongside him in the 25, it's Kenny Sargent. Kyle Andrews drives the number 43. Alongside him is the number 29 of Robbie General. The 32 is Mark Fawcett. The 40 is Jay Liverance. I'm sorry, the 40 is Derek Liverance. Jim Lampman drives the 28. The 37 is Rob Hoskins. The 327 is Trevor Jones. Gord Grant in the 5G. The 07 is Brian Bichetti. And the 13 is Casey Huffman. Double green flags, and we are underway.
Quite a battle going on mid-pack right now. You've got them stacked 4 deep in locations as they head down into corner 3, trying to sort everyone out. So far, clean and green here, coming to complete lap number 1. Mark Bazine, the leader, over Chris Dickey and Go Fast Teeple.
Bazine out in front in that Burger Barn 21. Then is the Strickland's GMC number 1 of Chris Dickey in second, getting a nice run up off of turn number 2. He's running with a borrowed motor from Mike Thorne, one of the spare motors from the Thorne team. It seems to be doing all right for him at the moment.
2 laps on the board in this 20-lap feature event for the Middleport Mechanical Thunderstocks. One goes into the infield.
That was a chain reaction wreck, and Derek Liverance was on the wrong end of the chain.
Clear on the inside of the infield here is Liverance, so we stay green with 3 laps on the board. Mark Bazine out in front over Ryan Dinning. Go Fast Teeple. Jeff Ruleff's up there in the 4th position, and then they're stacked 3 deep for position number 5 with Chris Dickey on the bottom, Ryan Beagle in the middle, and Adam Plazik outside.
Adam Plazik has a bit of a bobble there in turn 3. I think he had to take evasive action to avoid making contact with Ryan Beagle as we got a battle for the lead. Ryan Dinning noses out ahead of Mark Bazine.
Ryan Dinning, that Club 54 Camaro has been solid here in 2019. Hasn't come up with the amount of wins he would like here this year, but I would say that Ryan Dinning's got to be happy that he's back in the right direction considering where he was a year ago.
Yeah, he's looking at a strong finish out here, that's for sure. And look at this battle for third. Go Fast Teeple. He has really struggled in the late stages of this season. Jeff Ruleff's in the 6 and Ryan Beagle up on the high side in that 84.
Point champion right now riding inside the top 10, Dave Bailey.
Trouble in 4. Rob Hoskins is nosed up to the outside wall. I'm not sure what went wrong in that 37 machine. So I want to share some of what Chris Dickey said with us about his career at Ohsweken Speedway and how things got started. But as I mentioned, it's his last night in the driver's seat, and he's switching hats from driver to a nervous crew chief and team owner. His oldest son is going to be racing next year. He's bought himself a street rod so he can still drive fast and make plenty of noise. But he wanted to take the opportunity to thank the people that have helped him with his racing addiction. And I didn't know this, but Jeff and Dallas Biederman talked him into leaving asphalt racing to come dirt racing. Of course, Dallas Biederman was a top-notch competitor here about 15 years ago, and he likes to call it the best racing decision he ever made. He says it's been fun from start to finish, wants to thank the officials, the announcers, everybody here at Ohsweken, loves that he's been here as part of the growth, because when he started the Thunderstock division, wasn't really a jam-packed class. They had about 10 cars, and he's seen it grow some nights up to 40 cars. So he just wants everyone to know how thankful he is to his fellow racers. Even makes some comments about Mikey Thorne and how he'll always be the chubby kid who wears his shirt in the pool in Cuba. So Mikey Thorne is a full-grown adult now, but he said, make sure you mention the part about chubby Mike Thorne in the pool. I won't go into the rest, but Chris Dickey is one of the characters. He's a fun guy to be around, and we wish him all the best.
Yeah, when I read that, I had no idea it was the Biedermans that got him hooked on Ohsweken Speedway. Sad to hear that he won't be competing, but still be around. That's the main thing.
We should give him a hard time and say, look, Jim Lampman has like 7 cars here, and his son drives one of them, so Chris just needs to grow his fleet a little bit. Ryan Dinning in the 8 machine, Mark Bazine in the 21. They're going to lead the way back to the green flag. 6 laps are complete. 20 laps is the distance.
Ryan Denning back to the fun pedal, leads him down into corner number 1 with Mark Bazine in tow, and then they're stacked up behind him. Jeff Roloff's working that outside line. That 6R is working well tonight.
Yeah, really impressive drive by Jeff Roloff as he's hanging in there, really moving forward here as he works the outside of Bazine off of turn number 4 as they'll touch on the front stretch.
Jeff, one of those drivers from down in the Chatham, Ontario region, and it was announced this week that Southern Ontario Motor Speedway will be closed for the remainder of the year after their fire that took place down there a couple of weeks. So bad news down there for all those fans. We're thinking about those fans and competitors that don't have a home track to race on the rest of the year, but good to see some of their regulars coming up and joining us here tonight and last week as well.
A devastating fire as Ryan Beagle's driving it deep into the corners, but Jeff Roloff's still with that preferred outside groove, able to make the run on the high side and stay ahead of the 84. Behind them, it's really bottling things up as now Beagle will clear the 6R, and so will the 25 of Ken Sargent.
If Ryan Denning had a rear view mirror, he would love what he's seeing right now, because it's a lot of beating and banging, some good hard racing behind him, and he's been able to stretch the lead out here coming to the cross flags. Denning in the Club 54 Camaro leads the way over his teammate Ken Sargent.
Halfway through, 10 laps down, 10 laps to go in this Thunderstock feature event, and here comes Dave Bailey making the move on Ryan Beagle for third.
So Denning works it off of corner 4, completing lap number 11. Then it's Sargent and Bailey, second and third. Ryan Beagle riding back and forth. Fifth right now is that number 23 machine of Trevor DeBoer, second place in points coming into tonight. Jeff Roloff's in the 6th, back to the 6th spot. Logan Schwedick running in 7th. 8th, Mark Bazine, who led for a time here tonight. 9th, his teammate Mike Thorne. And 10th, Go Fast Teeple. 11th right now, Adam Plazik. 12th is Mark Fawcett. Looks like 13th is Christopher Hale. Frank Turkey right behind him in 14th. 15th, Chris Dickey. 16th is Blake Bomberry. And back in the 17th spot. Who's it tonight? Oh, it's Brian Pachetti. That's right. Haven't seen him in a long time here, but behind the wheel, the 07 here tonight. 18th is Kathleen Lampman, or nope, that's Donnie Lampman.
Robbie General, maybe.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I had to look twice on the starting grid. Who's driving that 29 this time? Denning is under attack from Dave Bailey in the 49. It's a 3-car battle at the front of the field with just over 5 laps to go.
Yeah, and that time that I did the field rundown, Dave Bailey worked his way up there to compete with Ryan Denning, and Ryan had a sizable lead going on, and now he's got to look and say, it's him again.
He raced him very politely last week, his battle with Dave Bailey for that win. He's running in on the bottom of the racetrack, and I think if Denning can get those left side tires down in the moisture at the bottom, he can get a good run here as laps wind down in this one.
Dave's got the championship locked up. So tonight, does Ryan rethink it if he has the chance?
Turn him. Come on, Denning, you got a front bumper for a reason.
Bailey leads down the backstretch over Denning, Sargent, DeBoer, and Ryan Beagle. The top 6 have broken away. Logan Schwedick's in that mix as well.
I really like this line Denning's running. He's slowed down a little bit to go even faster when he can get those left side tires down in the moisture. The clay is a lot tackier where it hasn't been dried out from all this racing. It'll be 2 laps to go this time for Dave Bailey.
Got to give a mention out to Mike Thorne, who's done a nice job to come up. Oh, that was close for the race leaders. His lap car. Trevor Jones pulls into the infield. But Mike Thorne started deep in this one. He's running up in the 8th spot. This has been a year he'd like to forget, I think. But having a good solid outing in that number 55 Burger Barn machine.
One slower car for these leaders to overtake. White flag is out, 1 more lap to go. And with the line Robbie General's running, that may not do any favors for Ryan Denning.
You know, that bottled things up, and that allows Ken Sargent now to drop even to Ryan Denning as they go into 3. Your champion sails through 3 and 4, and he's going to cap it off with 1 more win. Dave Bailey goes to Mr. Transmission victory lane, and Ken Sargent gets by Ryan Denning at the line. Put Denning back to 3rd. It'll be Trevor DeBoer and Ryan Beagle, your top 5. Logan Schwedick, 6th. 7th, Jeff Roloff's. 8th will be Mike Thorne. 9th, I believe will be Mark Bazine, and Mark Fawcett, I believe, will be rounding out the top 10. In the Middleport Mechanical Thunderstock Division, Dave Bailey, he is so smooth, so good. He caps off a championship with a win here tonight.
And how about all of our drivers in all of our divisions? We had full fields in every class. It is 10:35 in the PM, Greg, and we have concluded the program. We've got a Victory Lane celebration yet to go as Lone Wolf fireworks lighting up the sky. But great job by all of our drivers tonight in putting on a phenomenal show. Clinton Jeffries in Victory Lane, Mr. Transmission Victory Lane, to chat with our winners.
Well, Dave Bailey will work to get his gear off here. And we'll get in to have a word with him as Tony Spiteri from Pinty's comes in to shake his hand as the 2019 and multi-time champion here of the Thunderstocks in the Middleport Mechanical Division. Works on getting off, and we'll get him out here quickly to have a word with us as Ken Sargent comes over and gives the champion some congratulations. He drives that Jibs Queenston Chev Olds machine. Here he comes out. How about a big Ohsweken Speedway Mr. Transmission Victory Lane welcome for Dave Bailey. Solid run here, Dave. They're looking under the back of your car. We're smelling some nasty stuff. Is that coming out of your car?
That's probably Ryan's. We get a look at that stuff every week, changing racetracks. So I don't know. Hopefully it's not me.
Solid run though, Dave. I mean, this year's been picture perfect, and it seems like your car's been faster than ever these past few 4 weeks or so. Started the back last week, got wrecked, drove back up to the win. Today had to start deep in the field, drove back up to the win. What's the secret?
We had issues at Maryville, I don't know, July 1st or something, and it kind of wasn't the same. And Trevor was in the garage looking at the car a couple weeks back, and he noticed that something was missing. And ever since we figured that out, it's been a rocket ship. So thanks to him for having a good eye.
You picked up some new sponsors this year. What does it mean to take them to the championship?
Oh, that's awesome for these guys. I really got to thank Queenston Chev, Transaxle, Transport Sales and Service, and especially Mark at Jibs Action Sports. And thanks to Mav TV for putting this deal on tonight. It's awesome. And Tony with Pinty's, thanks. It's awesome that we get to do this on live TV.
There you have it, your champion. Dave Bailey gets it done. We'll get a word with teammates who finished second and third tonight, guys.
7th win of the season for Dave Bailey. 5th championship in a row. Not much more you can say about that, Adam.
He's not crazy about doing interviews, Greg, but he's so good at telling a story. He's always got something to talk about that's interesting. Clinton Jeffrey down there with a couple of teammates. We want to know why Ryan Denning didn't put the bumper to Dave Bailey since he knew he'd already won the championship. But you're going to talk to Kenny Sargent first.
Ryan's laughing down here. You got a second to think about your answer, but not Ryan. First off, guys, let's send out a shout out to Coop, who's watching at home, and he's got to be real proud of his team here tonight. You guys finished in second and third. Great run, Kenny. What's your thoughts?
You know what? First and foremost, it is all about Coop. All our thoughts are with him. You know, he's having some health issues, and as a team effort, and I'm just glad that Ryan and I can put both the Club 54 cars on the podium. And you know what? It's been a great season. I love the track. I love the fans. I love everybody here. Thanks for coming out, and we'll see you next week for the end of the year.
All right, they have from Ken Sargent. His teammate Ryan, first obvious question Adam wants to know, why would you not put the bumper to him? He's already champion. If you're going to do it, this was your free pass, Denning.
I don't know. He used it pretty good when he got around me, but one of these days I think I'm going to have to again to win one of these things. I don't know what else to do.
Solid drive though, Ryan. You got to be pleased.
Oh yeah, I'm pleased. Too bad the lap car got in there and gave second away to Kenny, but it's good that we're both up here on the pad. So a good night all the way around.
You really had your game together too, Ryan Denning. How about for our top three tonight? Dave Bailey wins the feature in the championship. Ken Sargent second, Ryan Denning third for the Club 54 team. That's it, guys. Don't forget, Canadian Sprint Car National next Saturday live here on Mav TV Canada, powered by Pinty's and presented by Mr. Transmission. Are you ready for this, guys? It's going to be amazing. 7 p.m. next Saturday for the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals. That's it for Mr. Transmission Victory Lane. Great night here at Ohsweken, guys.
We celebrate the champions here at Ohsweken Speedway. Dylan Westbrook in the 360 sprints. Nick Sheridan in the crate sprint division. Dave Bailey here in the Thunder Stock division. And in the mini stocks, Dusty DeBoer, Dave Bailey, Greg, think about this. Fifth straight championship. Nick Sheridan was in grade 4 when Bailey's championship streak started.
Amazing night, amazing stories at Ohsweken Speedway here on All North Racing, powered by Pinty's. Thanks for watching.